something about this season. How the cold brings people closer. How the quiet streets glow like they're telling old stories. Christmas isn't just a day, it's a feeling. It's the power of family, voices around a table, of memories that ache a little but warm you anyway. And every year, it reminds us, we're never really alone. Cold brings people closer. How the quiet streets glow like they're telling old stories. Christmas isn't just a day, it's a feeling. It's the power of family, voices around a table, of memories that ache a little but warm you anyway. And every year, it reminds us, we're never really alone.
night. Mars. Colder than Earth and smaller. This is the planet. Men have looked on and wondered whether they are alone.
It's almost like I missed you, but I can't. Never let myself forget all my love you misused, so I won't play your games. And all the times I feel something, there's a voice in the back of my head telling me to keep running, 'cause all that you are is regret. And all the times I feel, there's a voice in the back of my head telling me
Everybody calls you handsome. Hi, Gabe. Gabe is so handsome. You are the face. I'm just in the shadows.
And hello,
Hey,
Airsofters.
what's up, guys?
Happy holidays, Mele Kilikimaka, as my people say. Welcome to our Facebook live stream for December. I'm here with my very good friend, Alex.
Hey, guys. What's up?
And we have our producer, because we're fancy, David Forbes of Project Echo Airsoft. And we'll share some behind the scenes photos because there are cables everywhere. It's great. So hopefully the quality of this live stream is better. That's what we're striving to do, is make these better, more interesting for all of you guys. So there's that. This is our best of or year in review of 2025. And all we were really thinking was, let's do a video on what we did, maybe things we bought, good, bad, ugly, and just kind of share that information. And as we're going along, if you see anything that you want more details on, we can catch you later. If you want to share your thoughts on things, please do. We'd love to engage with you all in the community. So with that said, Alex, any other key words before we jump in?
Not really. I mean, I just pretty much just go over what we did this year, games we played, stuff we bought, things we did. Yeah. Other than that, I mean,
Why don't you kick us off with our first item?
I don't know. Where do we start? Is there any?
Well, let's talk about games first. Some of you have already seen, we did an after action report about Starburst. That will probably be our favorite large national game. It's the only one we played.
The only one we
right?
played, but
that you saw our video. We wanted to talk about local games as well because we've played some local games. Was it a lean year for you as far as playing?
This year was very lean. I didn't really get out very much. I really feel like I didn't get out as much as I wanted to. But as you said, I always talked about playing Starburst, and I always bugged you about that. And we finally pulled the trigger and we did that. And after doing that game, obviously we're pretty much hooked on that.
We're hooked on those bigger games. Well, let's talk about local games.
The local games, yes. The only local game I can think of that I played was the D-Day game at TCA. I think that was like June. I can't remember the specific date.
It's more springy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whenever D-Day is, June 7th.
And for those that don't know, Twin Cities Airsoft holds a D-Day game. This is 2025, I believe was their
Third year,
maybe. I think it's the second year that Drew Peterson, for those that don't know, Drew Peterson, who is pretty much running all the games at Twin Cities Airsoft recently, did a great job. I went to the 2023 game. I'm sorry, the 2024 D-Day, and it was great. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, I will say I had a ton of fun too. Like, it was a great game. It was very well organized by I can't think of his name. Drew. Yeah. Drew put on a really good game. The game kept moving. It was a very good paced game. And
right?
It kept moving. It was fun.
And he tries to do those historical, like some level of historical relevance to the mission you're playing at some point. So the one thing that I think I said to Alex was, I think the experience he had this year was very similar to what I had in 2024. So I'm hoping that there's some minor tweaks to the missions, because at some point, if you get to learn, like any other game, if you get to learn how those are going, you can tune yourself. You can tune your team to that. So I'm hoping they do it. I mean, it's already on their calendar for 2026. And I hope maybe they tweak it just a little bit. But that was a great game when I played in 2024.
And I plan on playing it in 26 too, but I think I am. But if I'm playing it as a player, or even a ref, I don't know. I haven't decided what direction I want to go in this next year. But it was a great game for me. But that was probably the only local game I played. I honestly don't think I played any
I think we did one open session with you.
I can't think of any of the open sessions. Maybe I played Big Lake once, because I like to play all the fields once a year.
Absolutely. And here's another pitch for everybody. If your favorite field is Big Lake, but you only go to Big Lake, what do you have for comparison, right? So we always encourage, play your Twin Cities Airsoft, play your Big Lake, play your Crossfire, play your Champion Valley. get spread your wings and try those different fields to see what they have to offer.
It's always nice to meet new people too.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
That's interesting as well, and not necessarily about best of or year in review, but this year was another year where we met players who didn't know about the
Anything.
Airsoft convention.
Yeah.
They just went to that one field. That's the only field they knew about. So
A friend dragged them there.
Yeah.
Like they knew a friend that played Airsoft, and then they started playing Airsoft with their friends, and you would ask them about what the Airsoft convention is or what the Minnesota Airsoft Association is, and they had no idea. So, yeah.
So if you're seeing this and you haven't played other fields, maybe in 2026, really start to think about, again, spreading your wings, going to a different field, trying out what they've got to go on. We'll be promoting all those fields again in 2026. For me, I think the best game I played locally, and it's going to be a gag. I can't tell you if it was spring or fall. Fall was pretty good because someone took an awesome video of me shooting a tank with my new launcher. It was a great video. I like to hunt tanks at GAG. That's my gig now. For those, some of you may have seen, I did a video about launchers because I care so passionately about it, because I want to know what I have to bring to shoot tanks. GAG is a huge game that I really feel like some people in the community, like Alistair and the Southern Minnesota guys with Marshall and other guys, have tried to elevate that game experience, the command experience. I think that overall has added to what GAG already is and the missions that the game organizers have put together. If you have good missions and good leaders on both sides, that just elevates the entire game. So I think that GAG is a great game. It's a huge game, right? Don't misunderstand. I'm not going to use the second part of this word, but it's a cluster. It can be a cluster. It's 300 people running around, and that's a lot. That's a lot of people shooting. But when it's really working well, again, when you have those commanders who know what's going on the field, when you have the organizers watching the flow of points so they can adjust accordingly to make sure that teams aren't getting steamrolled, I think that makes a great game. So GAG was great. We also helped run or ref certain games.
Supported
games. We tried to support some games this year. Escape from Tarkov at Action Sports is a fantastic game, and we play as role players. I love that game. I think that's a game where the role playing has gotten really good. The role players are working together to make sure the players have a good experience. The Night Stalkers asked us to help with their event this year at Big Lake. That was fun.
I had a really good time, actually.
We were there. We actually supported that entire game, whereas we went to Drug Wars, but we didn't hang out that long. We just kind of came and took photos. That was good. Batteries not included. For those that don't know, Crossfire, one of their special events over the years is over the season they have Dark Zone, which is a monthly game for them, and then Batteries not included, which is like twice a year. And Batteries not included is no AEGs game. All gas guns, spring guns. It's your weird guns.
Guns you don't typically use.
Guns you don't typically use.
Guns you don't use.
Right, you don't use because when everyone else has AEGs, it's not worth it. I helped run that game in the spring or the early part of the year. That's a great game, and I hope we can promote that harder and get more people to show up to that one. So, local games. We didn't play a ton of local games. I think you said you got out maybe like 4 or 5 times. I got out 9, but I only played 4, right? I only played 4 games this year, but I supported 5.
I don't even think I made it out to Action Sports either.
No, I don't think you did.
Because I like to go to Action Sports at least I want to go out twice a year. I think that's a great field.
And as we get into 2026,
yeah.
we are going to start promoting other fields in this format so people can kind of figure out their other options. So let's move to national games, which again, this will be pretty quick because we've already talked about it before. We only played one national game, which was Operation Starburst, which is Third Coast Airsoft's event at Fort Hood, Texas. And we don't have to say much. We did it before.
We did it before. Great game, great experience. Anybody who's ever thinking about doing a national game I would strongly suggest that one. Yeah. That was, by far the greatest experience of national games I've played. I haven't played a lot of national games, but of all of them, I can think of, that one was a great time. The people were great. The cadre was phenomenal. The cadre was literally you couldn't ask for a better cadre than that.
Yeah, super friendly, helpful.
Extremely helpful, friendly. What else?
I mean, the thing I wanted to point out, and we interviewed Rich Cudahy because we had just had such a great experience with him at Starburst as our CO. But like, we have someone in the state of Minnesota who is heavily involved with Third Coast Airsoft. So if you have questions about going to one of their games, regardless of where it is in the country, Rich Cudahy is such a great resource, and he's literally a neighbor. He's your neighbor. So he's on our forums. He's at lots of local games. Like, he's a great resource. I think that also made it a more pleasurable experience. If it just had been us going and not knowing anybody,
we would have still had
we still would have had a good time, 100%. But that,
we always meet neighbors.
Yeah,
you always get to meet your neighbors, and you get in tight with your, at least your parking spot neighbors.
Well, and like, we didn't. I apologize. We don't recall his name, but we met a guy who lives in Texas, who was originally from Minnesota, who was on our squad, who knew Rich. Like, it was just a weird. It's that small world scenario, right? So like, that guy was really nice to meet, and then we ended up hanging out with him quite a bit.
Yep.
So it ended up being a really great experience. But I think heavily weighted on that again is having Rich there, who already knew so many people, and he's so comfortable. That's a role he commands all the time. So like, all together, it was really a pleasure.
Again, Rich is a great resource, guys. If you ever need to talk to Rich, send him a message. If you ever have a question about what game, or a question about like specific, I would say specifically TC.
Yeah. Yes.
Third Coast Airsoft. So he specifically plays all those games.
He is a sponsored player.
He's a sponsored player. So like, I would suggest, if you ever think about that game, or just shoot him a question, he'll answer.
Yeah. The only caveat I'll give to that is he'll tell you to go to anyone. He likes them all.
He likes them all. He'll go to all of them.
If you ask him what the best site is, he's going to tell you what the best 5 sites are, and they they have 10 games. So like, it's just, again, Rich is a great resource, and so don't totally tap him.
What else we got going on?
Well, that was games. I don't really think. I was trying to think if there's anything else interesting game related. Anything you saw changing in games this year that you thought were interesting? Sorry, guys, having technical difficulties, as we're prone to having.
Ooh. I don't know
what we might just have to go.
Burnt up.
Mood lighting. Okay.
I wonder if it decided to overheat.
Like as in like games?
Yeah.
Or like
something. Did you see a mechanic that? So we're trying to stay best of kind of zone here, but changes to a game don't necessarily mean bad or good, but something might need of improvement, but was fun that we saw. Was there a mechanic you saw that was new?
No,
even if it was at a national.
At the national game, the one thing I like, I'm not trying to say anything bad, but I think the one thing that I kind of wish had a little bit more of a chance were the technicals at Starburst. Like, one hit and it took them out. Like, that was it. So you could throw a grenade at them, and that would take them out, right? A grenade could take them out, or a tag in could take them out, and that was it. One hit and they're done, and then they're pretty much out of the out of that scenario.
They had to go respawn.
Then they go respawn. I don't know. I feel like a technical should maybe take 2 hits, maybe like 1 hit to stop it. Then it gives time for guys to get out. I don't know. I just that's what I kind of thought. But other than that rule, I mean, I don't have a technical. I don't know if I had a technical and drove around and got shot once, I would suck.
And I think that's I think I said this earlier this year, and I probably made posts about it last year, is the amount of technicals that Minnesota has started to pull together in the last 2 years is really quite phenomenal. So like, I feel like we are actually starting to become a technical community.
Like a hub.
And I'm not going to make the comparison plus or minus over people who have Humvees, which, there are games where you can only bring a technical if it is a Humvee. Minnesota's not that state. Our technicals are more, your RVs, yep. Trucks that people have been converted, and that's great. But like, having the rules, I'd love to see uniform rules between games,
Oh.
or if there is a change, it's a minor change that makes it for the game.
Yeah.
So, Thomas reached out and said the Ares Alpha boxes was a great addition this year. So I bought some boxes that I brought to some games this year. Travis from Big Lake also bought a couple. I feel like they are a great addition. We need to learn how to use them a little bit better, leverage them better. But like anything else, you gotta
Use them.
You gotta use them.
Practice
And
with them.
Like there's some you got to know how to take a map and like modify a map and put your waypoints. And I'll be honest, I think I did it once and for the con, and then it just became so technicalized. Like not yet, not now. But like I see that technology coming in as being a great addition, and I hope we start to see more use of it. So my Ares Alpha boxes, I have 3. I was maybe thinking about buying a couple more, but with tariffs, it's kind of a crapshoot. But like I feel like I'd like to get at least 2 more, or work with Travis at Big Lake so that we can have like 6 in play to really leverage that kind of technology. I do know that I've seen that Boxman Airsoft, for those guys who know Boxman, like he's making his own boxes as well right now. That's on our Discord channel. For those that don't know, MAA has a Discord channel. He's been sharing information how he's been building one. That's great too. So the addition of technology into our airsoft games, I think, is always a good thing, and it gives them a little bit more realism because our modern warfare is so technology based.
I feel like we need like a dedicated like Ares box person.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
like someone has to like focus like literally all their time, like knowing how to navigate it and
Or we get enough
create
people
games.
who know and that they're the resource. Hey, you know,
Yeah.
like Rich is your resource for twin or for Third Coast Airsoft games. If we could get someone or a group of people who are like, this is what you do with your Ares Alpha boxes. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying more of that in the next year. I do also know that Mir Tactical, Alex Patarakis, Mir Tactical has those as well. They're hoping to leverage them as more. So I think you're just going to start to see that more, and I think that again elevates the whole game.
I liked them. I thought they were cool.
Yeah. Anytime you see a screen, anytime you know.
Is that what they used at Third Coast? Were those areas?
So Third Coast has their own.
Okay.
They're a different kind, but those were great as well. So again, it's adding that technology layer for those that don't, maybe have your, what do they call it, EUD, your other devices. People are carrying their phones on them while playing. It used to be you didn't carry your phone because you didn't want to use it. Now you can use it with your app, your Ares Alpha app or other apps, so that you can watch, real-time movement, scoring, control points, that kind of stuff I think is great.
Yeah.
We talk about gear
Sure.
first. So we're going to talk about gear. Now, before we get into, airsofters spend a lot of money.
Maybe you do.
I started a spreadsheet for just planning about what I was going to talk about, and I have so much stuff. And what I determined was, like most of us, we have an addiction to spending. And maybe you don't spend a ton of money, but you spend big money on one item, or lots of little money that adds up.
It adds up.
But we all buy stuff. So trying to pick a best of is kind of weird, especially in a world where gear specifically, and guns, are highly personal. Like, if you were to ask me what the best magazine is, I could say the best magazine for
EPM ones.
for an M4 is an EPM1. And if you're not running EPM1s, I don't even know what you're doing with your life. But if you ask me about an AK, I don't know. So there might be some common threads here and there for certain things. But nice, Josh. Thank you. Generally, gear is highly personal. But we decided we'd talk a little bit about gear. Just things we bought this year that maybe changed how we did things or we really liked.
I guess, for me, I always buy stuff and never use it.
That's a thing too, airsofters like to do.
I bought launchers, because hunting tanks sounds cool. It sounds fun, and so I started to buy a few launchers. Like I bought this launcher, if I can get it up there, and I modified it. These things are only supposed to use.
So this is the Nova Law.
Yeah, this is a Nova Law. It's supposed to only take Nerf rockets, but I modified it to take Tagans, and it's got a the Tagan rifle bore.
barrel,
Yeah, rifled barrel. It's got the Tagan rifle barrel, and this thing shoots across the world. And Never used it. You know, and I bought all the ammo for it too. I bought a bunch of what are the Reapers. Bought a whole bunch of Reapers. Never got to use. Never got to use them. They even went to Texas and they never didn't get used down there.
So part of the story with the launcher thing for both of us was, so Spring Gag, I was helping run whatever team I was on that year, and I brought all my old stuff. I read. Thank you. I was red. Thank you. And it turns out that I couldn't use Endex rockets. For those that don't know, Endex is made by a very nice gentleman, Brandon out of South Carolina?
North Carolina.
And when tagging was banned by the ATF, we couldn't get him in. Everyone was scampering to make alternative rounds. So people were still using Nerf rockets. People were using tennis balls. But Brandon at Endex was a guy who made 3D printed foam, rifled foam rockets. Long story short, I had been using those the last 2 years at GAG. Spring, they banned them. And I didn't know until midway through the game, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't bring any other launchers. And we had no AT for that game.
After we bought 200 rounds?
Yeah, we have a lot.
We bought 200 rounds and then...
So after that game, I was flustered. That's my friendly word for saying it. But both Alex and I decided to go, and I think Alex found the laws first. The Nova laws was, well, let's find something that we can use. And so we both bought Nova laws. And the only difference between mine and Alex's is, and this is all Alex's work, is Alex actually, these are not the OEM barrels. These are actually smaller barrels that Alex made himself using parts of the original barrel, like the housing mechanisms, so that we had the ability to shoot tennis balls and Nerf rockets. Again, they were larger, so those things were working, but they just weren't sealing as well. So doing that, I actually didn't use this in a game because I decided to go to another launcher that we can talk about, but I gave this to someone else to use, and it was great. So again, tank goes in the end. This unit still has the ability to breech load if you want to. I actually found just loading down the front was much easier, but like this launcher approved at Twin Cities Airsoft for the GAG game, a great unit, and I'm going to look at the price if I can find it.
I think it was $399.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the cheapest thing.
I think the GAG law had rules it had to be 16 inches.
Yeah, total. Yeah, without stock. So fits the bill, but and like I think Alex really liked this one because it looks like a law and you can put it in a scabbard on your back, so it's not something you have to carry the whole time.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. But as soon as we got the short stocks and you started to shoulder it, it turns into like a whole different.
And actually, so that's the other thing we got into is, so a lot of people have their small tanks. These are actually longer. Sorry, these are longer tanks, but we actually found those. What are they?
7.5, I think.
Yeah, they're super small tanks, but for a launcher, it's not bad, and it also makes the whole unit so much smaller. So that's something else we got into this year was smaller or alternative kinds of tanks. You can also run this on an external line, but then it's almost too short to run. That's a unit that you either want to over the shoulder or put into your, butt it into your shoulder. So yeah, that was one thing we got. Since we're on launchers. So I've talked about this before. This is the Metadyne Havoc. This gun in its current form factor has been around since like 2012. This is an old design, very popular in paintball. In fact, it's so popular that when the parts come out, like not the unit itself, there was a time when it was hard to get the units themselves. It's pretty hard to get them right now, but like the add-on parts, like there's a breech load piece, there's an extended barrel, like those parts are really hard to find because they're so popular in paintball. I actually bought this because we actually were at a game where someone from Iowa had one. This was actually, I think this was the Night Stalkers game, where someone had this gun and I watched them use it and I was like, oh, that's fantastic. And I was like, too bad you can't get them. He's like, no, you can get them right now on Rockstar Tactical or wherever it was. And I went and I could and I bought it right away. This is the gun I used at GAG. Fantastic. Like it's my favorite launcher for our local games. I got to use my Tag-In launcher at Starburst. And that's great. But that's not allowed at Twin Cities Airsoft. So for your Twin Cities Airsoft launching needs, this is great. Metadyne Havoc, again, old gun, meaning design, but super popular, and it's popular for a reason. So anyone who doesn't have one, again, the old paintball tanks at Twin Cities Airsoft, they know this, and they run it. So there you go. Other things I bought, launcher related, and I did some reviews on this. So this is the Crytek KT320 or K320. The thing I'll say about Crytek in general, and I have some other Crytek things that I might show off later, is Crytek takes designs and makes them a little better. When the P90 came out, I was one of the people who was like, they made a gun nobody asked for. And then we got one through, I'm not even sure how we got it. I think
somebody won it?
I think we got it in trade. And then we used it, and the gun was more fun than it had any business.
Who used it? Was it Caleb's kids?
Caleb got it, gave it to his kids, our buddy Caleb Huss. If Caleb's out there, hello, Caleb. And he actually ran it at a night game and was like, oh, this is actually fantastic. Now, we didn't have a ton of reference to the originals or the other versions of the P90 AEG, but it was great. Did we need another micro launcher? And again, this is a shower shell launcher. This does not fit tag and shells. So this has a limited use. Did we need this? We need anything in airsoft, right? Like we don't. But this launcher, in the way it comes with everything you need to put it on a gun, use it as a handheld. It's got an extender. It's got all sorts of great features on it. It's really a very nice launcher. So if you're in the market for shower shell related launcher, this is a great option.
Versatile.
It's more versatile than I'd say the other hand units you can get. Now, something also about this is like at games where they require a certain length. This is short, so this is also not going to be for that. But it's a nice launcher. It's nicer, like I said, than it has any business being. And I'm glad I got it. I got this when they first announced it because I thought it'd be cool. Related to that, since we're talking shot shells or shower shells, is so the KT40 is Crytek's shower shell, which is, I didn't know this, but someone told me they bought the patent for the Airsoft Innovations Master Mic 40 mic design, and they took the design.
If anybody remembers those.
Globally banned. Pretty much nobody lets you use them. But like, they took that design and refined it and then re-released it. I think they're very reasonable. I'm going to buy more. One, because I want to be able to fit my 6-round grenade launcher with these. They're not banned anywhere, but I feel like it's because no one has seen them yet. So we'll see how long these last. But again, a great refinement of that old Airsoft Innovations shower shell. But so, I mean, there's some launchers. Anything else launcher? I'm trying to think I think we really keyed in on using tennis balls over.
Oh yeah, 2-inch tennis balls are what we.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the go-to
for rounds.
And then how I modified them.
Yeah, and I mean, so most places require you to have, a slit in the tennis balls, or at least Twin Cities Airsoft does, to lessen that impact when it hits something. On top of that, with those slits, I was able to stick like a long tether in it, and now you can actually find your ball. Yeah. Like it made it that much easier to find your munitions after you shoot them, if you chase them down. Yeah. Which at some point, there's so many out there, it's hard to know. But yeah, and tennis balls are easy to lose. I mean, for how much they're relatively cheap. They're $1 each. That's better than a $10 tag in, like EG67 that you're not getting back. But, yeah, I don't know. I think the tennis balls were probably the best, but that's a whole different. I mean, again, so we had a comment, not very mil-semi. Absolutely not. But our local fields don't allow that. So it's not that I don't know of people who use Havocs. I don't think anybody's seen the Nova Law yet, so it's something we could bring to another game. But it's not like I don't see people with Havocs and other kinds of rockets at other large Milsim games. So it's not a foreign concept. But again, if you're allowed to use tag-ins, man, they really are the gold standard. They are so fantastic. Again, this year's Starburst was the first time I got to use actual rounds. We used Reapers, and I was like, oh, those are fantastic. Like, they're great. And
that was 100 yards, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and it
lobbing them over 100 yards.
It took the guesswork out of where you hit. Like, we were mortaring onto the top of a building, and like they were hitting that building, and I was super surprised. And the guys who I was shooting at, who we were never going to eliminate all of them, they were really cool later. They're like, yep, they were all hitting, but they're hitting on the backside. And once we knew you were zeroed in on the back of the building, we just stopped hanging out back there. And I was like, that's great. But they knew, right? So that was nice. Not a new thing for 2025. Technically, I bought that 2 years ago, but being able to use Reapers, which are not new, but to me they were, and they were fantastic. I can't wait.
I still have 10 I've never shot.
Well, no, I probably didn't take your 10. I mean, I did take your 10. I just
You
didn't
did
shoot
take
them.
my 10.
I just
You didn't
ended up
use
needing
them.
at that Starburst. So
Maybe next year.
yeah.
Maybe next year I'll
Yep.
say I'll use them, but I never will.
Yeah. Tangentially, I'll say, and this may, as we get into some of the other items we're going to start talking about, carrying a launcher and a gun, kind of a hassle. It's a full-time job to do one or the other, right? So
Unless you have it sheathed, man, or like the way I had mine set up in my backpack, it was like nothing was there.
So, I mean, that said, you didn't use it, right? Like, I decided to run at the Gags just the Havoc launcher. I didn't even bring a pistol. I was just the launcher guy. I did bring other kinds of rounds in case I needed them, and lots of grenades because I'm a grenade guy. But that was that. When I went to Starburst, I ran a short gun in my Taggin ML36 just so I had two smaller devices, and that actually worked out well. And that is how I'll run large games. SMG, so I can do full auto at short range, and then be a long range launcher guy.
Oh, yeah, you went with SMGs.
I mean,
Again, I tried to do SMGs, but I never.
yeah, I mean,
I've got all this stuff. I just never.
the best laid plans, right? Like you
That's
think you have
fully
a plan on
committed.
what you want to use, you buy stuff. I have some guns that I bought.
I want
decided didn't
250
like.
rounds.
You want 250 rounds?
I want 250 rounds.
That's a rough thing, right? If your EPM ones are 250 rounds,
It's hard to go down to 100.
it's hard to go down to 100, 120.
If you're 120.
And especially if you're allowed to do full auto, right? Like at the larger milsims, if you're a rifleman, you're semi anyway. But if you're an SMG, you get full auto, and that's the trade-off. Smaller mags, full auto, you got to be more mindful of that. I guess if we're talking about guns, I'll just note, since we were transitioning, this is my MP7. I will give a shout out to Andrew at Yacht Club Media. This is not a new gun, meaning the gun itself is not new. But this was new to me in 2025, and it wasn't cheap, but it was worth it, and now it's my favorite gun. This is the base unit is a VFC MP7, which then Bullcraft Industries, BCI, modified with 3D parts to put a jack into, and then they did other 3D printed parts as well. I did this specifically for for Third Coast Airsoft. I wanted a smaller SMG. I love the MP7. I was really thinking about an MP5. I will always love MP5s because I'm a man of a certain age, but the MP7's a modern gun, and it's great, and it's light, and it's small. This was the gun. Again, you'll see me. I actually played one open session, maybe two with this. I love this gun now. This, in conjunction with a launcher, works well for my style, which is I just don't want to carry that much weight. It's still a lot, but it's not a ton. So I can't say enough good things about this gun. In fact, here's the bad thing I'll say about it. Can't get it. Again, the VFC MP7 is no longer made. Bullcraft actually got in a bunch, and then they bought them so they could convert them, and now they're out. And last report I saw on their page was good luck. If you have one and you want to upgrade to an HPA unit, we can help you, but they don't know if they'll ever find another stack. So maybe somewhere in a Connex in Hong Kong or somewhere
stuck in customs
somewhere there's a batch of these hiding somewhere. That's cool, but I feel like this is a gun that I'm glad I bought this year. And I shouted out Andrew at Yacht Club Media. He bought one last year, I want to say, but his video, when I was kind of thinking, oh, is it worth the money? I think this was $1,500, maybe $16. And then I bought a lot of mags. Like I like a full 10 load mag out. So I'm over $2,000 just in the base gun of this. Some people would hear that, Alex, and go, "Oh my God, that's terrible."
I won't say anything bad because I've done dumber stuff.
That's why you never slam somebody, because you've just made a different bad decision. But I will say I love this gun. I'm glad I jumped into it. And then I will also just give a plug to Bullcraft. They're making a lot of great 3D printed parts for guns right now. Usually the big beasts, your RPKs, your 249s. I'm missing things, but like they're doing some great work. So give them a look if you can. But that SMG with the launcher was my loadout for my third Coast Airsoft game, and it will be for the foreseeable future, unless there's a different role someone wants me to play. You brought a gun?
Well,
this is a flex.
this is not a flex. This is one of my favorite.
There's a flex.
This is a gun that this is another gun that I got and I don't use, but for some weird reason I love it because it's so tiny. The story on this gun,
What is the base gun again?
I think it's a Jag.
The Jag Arms? Wow.
Yeah, I think it is. I can't remember if it's a Jag or what's the other brand.
I think Double Eagle makes one. Marui made the original, right?
Like with this though?
Yeah.
Not like this.
They made the mechanics. Yeah.
Yes.
They didn't make the short rack.
But I love this shorty gun, this shorty shotgun, and I always loved them. And they're, I don't know if they're hard to come by, but I saw this gun at the con last year, broken, for $70. And I was like, I'm not going to pay $70 for this because I could wait, until one came out brand new for like $120 or something, which it never did. So fast forward a few months later, at what?
Action Sports.
Yeah, Action Sports. Action Sports had this gun. The guy had it there, and he had it for $30. He's like, I bought this at the con for $30. Like, dude, what? I thought it was $70. and it was locked up. He said he couldn't figure it out, and his guy couldn't figure it out. Nobody could figure it out, and this is it's not a flex. This is what I like to do. This is what I like to do when stuff is broken. I like to get at it, figure it out, fix it, and make it work again or make it work better. So I got it, and I brought it to Wisconsin Dells because I was on vacation with my family there, and all I had was a Swiss Army knife. And I'm not kidding either. A Swiss Army knife, and I tapped everything out, and I was able to fix this gun with just a Swiss Army knife. What happened was I had the racking arms in the wrong spot. So there's a if you put the racking arms too far up, it doesn't ever want to rack again. So that's all it took. And now this thing turned into my favorite, like sidearm kind of gun, because now I put this thing in my backpack and, it's just there. I've never used it ever.
Well, and again, shotguns in airsoft have limited capability when you're running against 250 round M4s.
You're gonna get outgunned.
I own one of these
9 out of 10 times,
and it's a fun gun though. And again, this is where a game like that, battery's not included at Crossfire, is a great chance to use something like this. I'll just say sidebar for that game, battery's not included. Shotguns are the master gun. Shotguns have range. They have that, 3 or 6.
Well, if he lets you HPA it. If you're able to HPA your gun at that
either
game,
way. I mean, you can now, but like even when people were just using green gas with their shotguns, that was still the best gun you could run. Other than GBBR rifles, which have their pluses and minuses too, right? But shotguns are great because it's the multiple shots. Anyway.
And yeah, like I said, it's
a great story. It's a great story.
This shotgun, I really enjoy it. I think it's a great gun, and I think it's fun. To put the 6 rounds. Like if you get a chance to, get somebody in a room with one of these, it's pretty fun. I remember I played with when we were playing up north in Minnesota at Camp Ripley.
Oh,
I remember one year I brought the Marui shotgun when it came out, and I just played with that the whole time, and I really liked it. That was the Marui 870 shotgun.
Yeah. And the Marui 870 shotgun is the gold standard, right?
Yes.
A lot of good clones of it, though. So.
Yes, there's a lot of and I don't want to say like these are better, but I feel like
for the price.
Yes,
right?
For the price.
Like, I think the price. Again, and limited capacity, limited usage, but it's also so. I'm going to say flex, not in the negative, pejorative here, but like having a shotgun's just cool. It makes you feel good. Racking a gun makes you feel good.
Yeah, it makes it sound so, especially a Marui shotgun.
Yeah.
It's only a Marui shotgun because they actually sound like a
Yeah, you could scare some people with that.
Well, there's Joe, Alex, and his projects.
Yeah, Alex
Yeah.
loves projects. So this, go back to the Nova laws that we talked about. When we got them, they were okay, and we shot them, and we're like, meh, and immediately, I don't even. How long did you have yours before you started?
I took it apart like a day.
Yeah, it was like a day, and he was like, it should be a smaller barrel, and so he found metal, and and that's the barrel I'm using. And then he made it even further, and he wanted to modify it for tagging. So again, Alex likes to see things, like he said, fix them or make them better.
Well, you can see like with this one, it's got a full rail on the top. The original ones only have that little tiny thing. I don't know why they would do that.
I think it holds parts in.
I know, but you got all that real estate.
If you,
But it looks cooler.
you're a real estate mogul now.
Either way,
So, are you compensating for something on putting
not
that?
compensating.
Oh,
for
okay.
anything.
Just making sure.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe doesn't matter. It's all innocent.
Happily married.
Well, transition since Alex mentioned the shotgun as a sidearm, I pulled out just a couple pistols that I got. This isn't even all the pistols I bought this year, and it's funny because I don't run pistols. I think it's extra weight. I never go to a pistol. Like my sidearm is grenades. That's how I get my close range kills or some other things. But I brought out a couple that are new, and some I am excited about, and we'll see what happens later. The first thing I wanted to show was this is the Arcturus Vanguard. This is the 4.3, and this is just, I say just, I don't want to belittle this. This is a high kappa model of gun. So if you have a Marui Western, or sorry, a Marui high kappa or one of the clones, and you're like, I already know high kappas are great, then you already know that high kappas are great. The thing I'll say about the Arcturus is they did some really interesting work with the internals, used better materials. They did do some different cosmetic things. Their slide is meant already for an RMR. For those that have high kappas, you already know the high kappa is still the only gun to my knowledge that you can build from screws. So you can buy every part you need for a high kappa and build one. And if that's your jam, go for it. That is not my thing. I just wanted I want a pretty gun out of the box. And that's this gun. I really like it. I got it from our friend Chris Yu, the original dealer of Minnesota. And shout out to Chris Yu for being a constant supporter of the community and of our addiction, really. So again, Pusher Man #1 is going to be Chris Yu. But I bought this gun mostly just because I thought it was cool, and I wanted to review it. And I haven't actually reviewed it yet, so look for the review in 2026. But neat gun.
I've actually never used a pistol.
Really? You never used a pistol in a
The only time I ever used a pistol was at Tarkov because I ran out of ammo, and Josh Breacher was like, "Hey, take my pistol," and I ran in there with a pistol, and I actually had that's right. It was cool, but never. Again, it's one of those things like you said. I don't need the extra weight. And I'm the same way with gear too.
Yeah,
like,
you're pretty minimal gear. We're gonna get into actual.
I'm probably
gear.
the worst person.
You're not the worst.
I had the same exact opinion, and then Gag, during that tank war,
you pulled.
It was pistol and my knife.
Yep,
going around.
And Joe Egg said, if you want to see this, stop by or we'll meet up. Again, it's a solid piece. Like I put on the X300 on it, and it looks great on it. It already comes with, the threaded barrel, so you can put your tracer unit on the front or just a can if you want. This is the OEM mag, which is standard heavy mags, but you can buy those Pro-Win lightweight mags, which for those that don't, if you're a pistol guy and you're like, oh, weight's, stop being such a wuss, like weight's not an issue. If you can buy the lightweight aluminum mags, ooh, they are so nice. So I will always recommend that.
Joe just mentioned something. I'm not a liar. We used Springer guns on that game. 1,000 years ago.
At Devil Ops, is that
Devil Ops? I
Airsoft.
hosted a Springer only game, and we just had just plastic spring games. I know you're.
I mean, no, I still have my old spring guns. I refuse to get rid of them.
No, spring actually.
No, spring guns.
Yep.
Yeah, single cock, single shoot.
So I guess I'll use this. I've used the pistol there. Are you happy, Joe?
Well, and that's an excellent transition because I want to talk about very briefly the guns that I'm actually more excited about, but they're the least practical guns in airsoft. And so I'm going to talk about a series of Elite Force or Umarex Single Action Army CO2. I love westerns. I love six shooters. I wasn't gonna make a heavy investment, and then I bought like 4 this year. And since I found a place where I can find more of these guns, I'm gonna buy more. Some people have seen a post I made about my recent shipment in from Taiwan, which I got dinged $100 extra from UPS. That was a bummer, but I've already set that aside and already thought it's worth it for me to buy these. So these guns again are CO2. They take shells, which again makes them not practical. Not like you can't just load the BBs in the front, but like they are silly guns, but they're heavy. They have great action. I'll go backwards and say this is the first one I bought this year, which was Elite Force's release for 2025. They released both this and a lever action, which I will show, and I did show it in the pre-show, which is the gold and black. I think this is pretty gaudy, and I didn't really want gold and black, but this is all you could find. This is their gambler version. So I got these at Airsoft Station. The second they came out, I bought 2. I wasn't gonna get skunked on this gun again.
Oh, you didn't order that one?
Nope. I went into Airsoft Station. They happened to have some. I called and at the time Dario was working and he's like, "Yep, I got them. Do you want me to save them?" I was like, "Is anybody coming for these?" He's like, "Absolutely not." But so I bought 2. And then
only 2.
No, he had more. In fact, I think they still have some. And I would, if it wasn't for the gold and black, which again, if that's your vibe, cool. It's not necessarily my thing. What I wanted, which is this one, which is the wild card, which was the first gun, I believe, that Elite Force Single Action Army that Elite Force released years ago, 5+ years ago. I could not find it anywhere. I couldn't find it on the used market. I just assumed I wasn't going to get it. This is just all black, right? Nothing fancy. That's how I prefer it. So the SWIT Airsoft, SWIT Airsoft in Taiwan, had a bunch of Western guns. They had a Western page. And I saw this, and I immediately was like, well, I'm going to buy one just to see how it goes shipping-wise. Worked out well. Got dinged on UPS. And so this is their 2.5. Again, this is their wild card. This is their gambler. So these are your short barrels. And this is their 5.5 shady, I think is what they call this version. So your more traditional long-barreled version. All these guns, again, not practical for skirmishes, but fun guns, and I'm going to figure out a way to integrate them into some kind of play in 2026. So they also, again, CO2. I'm not a fan of CO2 and GBBs, but for these kinds of guns, it just means power. So I'm really excited to use these in 2026. I made a post where I said I might start a quick draw league. A couple people said they were interested. I think people want to do a quick draw with their Glocks and their M9s, and we can get into that too. But
that's just a pistol game.
That's just a pistol game at that point. I'm interested in getting into this, but so sidearm wise, not practical as opposed to this, the Vanguard 4.3, which is practical. It's a great sidearm for skirmishing. The single action armies, they're not, but God, are they fun. So look for more of these on the field next year.
If you can get a game like that, those are probably the funnest games ever because they're so just dumb. And
the MEA,
they're just, to me, just a dumb, you're running around with a spring, like with the spring ones.
You can't engage at distance at those kinds of games. So you got to move more.
Yep.
It's more fun. You're going to do more stupid things, which I actually think, for everybody who's ever been to an open session and they, 3, 2, 1, go, and people run 20 feet and stop immediately. I used to make fun of those people more, but now 20 feet out of your spawn, you are getting hit. Like, you can get hit.
Yeah,
now.
You can hit from spawn to spawn.
If you're running a pistol or a shotgun or, even if you have a sniper rifle, you still need to set up for that kind of stuff. So I was going to run a pistol shotgun game, and I never did this year. If there's enough demand in 2026, I'll do a side field thing if I go somewhere. Probably, it doesn't matter where, but I'll try to run it if people are interested. But it's weird because, again, I don't really care about those.
It's trying to get the people that want to do it.
Yeah. And enough people to make it worth it, right? To convince a field. Like, I wouldn't do a whole day of pistols and shotguns, but I do a round.
A million years ago, I don't know if anybody remembers, Team Dolph. Like a million years ago, they did a pistol, shotgun, I think, sniper rifle game, and it was called Dolph Doomsday.
Yeah.
And it was
that big lake.
Yeah, that was at Big Lake, and that was probably one of my. Everybody could dress the part. So it was like pretty much playing Fallout and like all these post-apocalyptic games. And yeah, that was I want to say that was just a pistol shotgun.
And that totally sounds like something the Dolph guys would
and
all
it
put
was
together.
and, you know, you had to find resources, and the Dolph guys went and bought like canned food and like bought, like rice, filled bottles of rice, like, you know, like glass bottles of rice, or you could still find it on Big Lake every once in a while. You'll run into one, but
That's kind of like the Chernobyl game.
I've never heard of that game.
Yeah, look it up. They're doing it now in Chernobyl. It's like a week long, and only like a half of the participants have actual guns. So it's like a couple factions versus the military, but then they bring in all these other people to play, and they're the shopkeepers and yeah, and it's
an actual like immersed role playing game.
Yeah, it's more of a LARP, long form.
But this was like I said, this was just a one day. This 100 years ago, Dolph was a pretty established team, man.
Yeah,
They were pretty good, yeah.
They ran games.
And they ran a whole bunch of games, and this game was
They
one
like
of them.
theme games.
And this was one of them, and man, it was a great game.
And this is where I'll just give a shout out. Dolph was one of the founders was McLean. That's his code name. He now is part of Bad Goat. And for those that don't know, Bad Goat runs the immersive games, whether it be the Cold War games or the Vietnam games. I'm not sure where they run those, but they do advertise them on the MMA Facebook group. But McLean is a guy who believes in reenactment games. He loves them. He loves theme games. He loves the
Authentic.
Yeah.
He wants authentic themed games.
Yeah. Sidebar on sidearms before we go to bigger guns, which I'm not sure if Alex has got any other bigger guns. So this is something I saw on, of all things, I think I saw it on TikTok. And what I'm showing here is just the top of this mag. And this is the Tridose Unicorn Pistol Loader Modifier. You're taking your hand loader, and it just literally screws on the top. And what it's got is it comes with multiple arms, but you put it on your mag, pull it back, and then you can feed faster. It's an interesting concept. I don't know that I care. I've been loading them by hand and just kind of like pulling it back and pouring them in for so long, or using a loader without this modifier and just, loading like that. But it's an interesting concept. Did it need to happen? I don't know, but it was $8. So not a bad thing. So if you need to even out that order to get to a free shipping, here's an $7 to $8 add-on purchase that you can put on something to get to your free shipping number.
Kind of ruins like the bonding of loading mags like back in the day. You're like,
well,
you're all bonding with your buddies. The next thing you know, you're done.
I mean,
done.
Yes, we're efficient.
Or even the next step, with the
loading rods,
Yeah.
which guns still come with loading rods, which is crazy to me.
Or the next step to the right there, the battery loaders. Yeah.
So good transition here. This is the Autobot loader.
Does it do an EPM one?
It does.
It does?
Yep. No, it's so here's the thing about this. So this is a battery operated auto loader. Push on the top. I don't have a battery in right now, and it loads the mags. For those who've been in airsoft for a long time, these kind of look like we had these, but they were crap. Like the gears were plastic. I don't know what the gears are in this yet because I'm not going to take it apart until it breaks. It's a neat thing. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's not priced terribly. It is convenient. I know people who love them, but I'm an Odin loader guy.
How many rounds can you hold in that? Because if it's the same amount as an Odin,
somebody look it up. I don't remember. It's not bad. It's quite a bit. It's more than an Odin. It's maybe call it double of an Odin.
okay.
Is that one LiPo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, LiPo battery, so you can use your smaller battery form factor. In fact, I had to kind of research what battery to get in order to fit in this, but it's neat. But as I just said, the Odin loader is fantastic. And again, if we're talking best of 2025, I just wanted to say I purchased this, no beef with it. But I have not found a reason to use this over my Odin.
seems big.
That's the thing. An Odin loader is the size of 2 M4 mags. So if you're an M4 person anyway, you got a double mag pouch. It's just so convenient. If there were any problems with the early models with maybe the gears breaking, I did break some gears on old EPM ones when you have to really work in your EPM ones. But that's not the case anymore. I own 3 Odins. I'll bring an Odin on me and then have one in my fob bag. Like, It's nothing wrong with the Autobot. If you're interested in it, I can't say anything bad. It looks great. I wouldn't use it on field, or if I did, it'd be at my fob bag so I could load while I'm spawning. Whereas an Odin, you carry with you. But interesting item. Nothing wrong with it. Just didn't get a lot of use from me because I've already kind of set in my ways because I'm old.
Yeah, that's what we did when we were out at Sheboygan. We had that at the fob tent, and when we came back, one of the kids with the girlfriends would grab everybody's mag, and we all just shared BBs.
Yep.
And it was nice and easy, done. They don't, they don't like doing
Again,
that.
it's not a bad
No.
piece of equipment.
No, it's not. It's amazing.
It's just what you're used to, and like I end up loading on the field quite a bit. Like I'm very rarely out of ammo, so, and that's because I have my Odin on me at all times. I have a couple other guns I'll just talk about really quickly, just because they were 2025 purchases and they have some unique features. The first one I'm going to bring up because it's the heaviest, and so it's going to take a minute. So I don't want to point that right in Alex's face.
Nice.
This is the new Crytek LMG. I am an owner of the original Crytek LMG. I'm a Crytek guy. Almost all of my AEGs, or now modified HPA guns, are some version of Crytek Tridents. I just like the gun. I like that they're interchangeable and I can switch things around. This was a release that actually was pre-ordered 2024, but didn't get released at very early 2025. And here's why the new Crytek is better. It is M-Lock built right away. All the old Crytek were key mod. The mech box has enhancements. It's got its own MOSFET. I'm a parastock guy. This did come in solid stock, but I don't care about solid stock. I think it looks way doper with the parastock, which that wasn't an option before. The biggest thing I'm going to say is the mag that comes with the new Crytek LMGs already is 5,000 round capable. The old one was 2,700 unless you got the old Craft Industries modification.
Is that the stock one?
Yeah, so this is the box mag that comes with the new Crytek, and it's 5,000 round capable.
It's completely different from the old.
No, it's the same.
Is it? I thought the
it's
other
the same.
one.
You just internally it's different. So for those of you who had the original Crytek and wanted that 5,000 rounds, you had to spend another $175 and get the attack, or get that again, I think it's Bullcraft insert, and you had to modify your mag and do all that. This gun comes ready for that already. So they took that feature. I said it earlier, Crytek takes existing things and makes them a little bit better. I'll turn it around because I put a carry handle on mine because I just like carry handles because it's a pig of a gun. But, it's a beautiful gun. The parastock's nice. I actually fielded it once, and Alistair broke it. But I had the motor in a bad position, and I just let him grind it down. And it's my fault. It's fine. But either way, great gun. This was a 2025 purchase. This is a great Bull Gear. Thank you for whoever posted that. Probably someone who thank you. In fact, Sam Crunk is the person who reminded me of the name of it earlier, and I already forgot it. So, again, great gun. I'm really happy with it. This is tangential because we're getting ready to go to SHOT Show again. Not a lot of people have seen this gun. This is the Maxim MDX, which is a real gun that Maxim Industries, I don't know if it's Industries. Maxim is a Minnesota firearms company. They make real firearms. They also make airsoft guns. There's a license. They have Maxim Defense, sorry. This was at the SHOT Show booth in early 2025. I saw it. I was with Timmy Tambo, and I was like, I want that. And he said, well, when they come out, I'll let you know. And I think they're starting to come out soon. But this unit actually made its way back to Minnesota and ended up at Airsoft Station. And I was like, oh, I'm going to buy that. It still had the SHOT Show tag on it. Little tag that says SHOT Show display. It's a great gun. The thing that's interesting about this gun is the battery. And this has been kind of a negative for some people, is the battery actually goes in the can. So
weird.
That's why you have their Maxim stock, which is a very short telescoping stock. But so the battery goes up here, which is kind of a bummer if you want to run a tracer. But again, this is part of the look. It's a very unique gun. I really do like it. I bought this relatively, within a month or two of buying the MP7. So, like, this hasn't gotten fielded yet, but I'm glad I own it, and I do like short M4s. So,
It's heavy,
neat gun.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a heavy gun. It's neat. It's a great gun. I'm really happy with it. It's just, again, at some point you have too many guns, right? You actually have to set a calendar and say you're dedicatedly going to run a gun or not.
I tried to do that one year. I'm only going to do this or that, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying that, and then immediately you went back to your original gun. So, the other thing I'll show two silly guns before we move on. This is not an unusual thing. People already know. This is the Well Pro We23 Mini. Some people have seen. I have 6 We23 versions. I have the vehicle mounted kind. I have the chainsaw handle kind. This is their smallest unit, 600 rounds. Takes these small cylinder drums. If Josh Warren is still around, this is not Milsim. This is a stupid gun, which, depending on the field you're at, isn't going to let you use it anyway because it shoots too fast and it shoots too many rounds. But this is their SMG rotary gun. It's absolutely ridiculous. But for a game like Escape from Tarkov, when you're trying to scare the crap out of people, this is a great gun. The only thing I wish is, unlike the other guns, these barrels, and all barrels, it shoots out all barrels as they rotate, they're too close together to put a Loudner on, unless I just put a huge thing right on the front, which maybe I'll do. It is an intimidating gun, totally silly. But I really enjoy it. I have fielded it twice at role-playing games, not as a player. The other gun, which is equally as impractical, and as we were talking about the single-action armies, this is an Elite Force / Humorex single-action, lever-action gun that takes shells.
Is it the same shells as the pistols?
It's the same shells as the pistols, which is also kind of cool, right? As it should be. I mean, you're running your 45 longs or something like that. It's a ridiculous gun. The fact that it's black and gold. This is another gun that they had a different version of this. It didn't have the extended or the wider rack or the wider handle, but like this is a completely ridiculous gun that is super cool. Like, if you're not into these kinds of guns, you're gonna think it's stupid. If you are, you're gonna think it's awesome. I am the latter group, so this was a purchase that had to be made. This is also limited run. The black and gold are limited runs anyway. Generally, those Elite Force guns, because they're not super popular, the single action armies, the lever actions, they just don't make a ton. So buy them when you can. And I am now hooked on these Western guns, and I'm going to buy them. So again, loads like a real single action or a real lever action. Shoot it, shell comes out. Clearly not practical.
That's like a shoot cans in your backyard gun.
Shoot cans in your backyard, or if I were to do something like a Old West free gun. For those that have ever done that or seen that, my biggest problem with that is I'm not making up a fake cowboy name. I'm not Dusty Pineapple. Which is the kind of crap you have to do if you're going to do Western games. You have to make yourself a silly name. And I don't look good in cowboy
What's the
hats.
difference in making a call sign and a silly?
There's an idea for a game this year: Red Dead Redemption.
If people wanted it, I've got enough guns to probably,
Like
give guns to the
Thomas
whole
said,
team.
like Thomas said, at Village.
Yeah. Actually, that could just be a nice little fun in-between game, too. Everybody buy your guns, see how it works out. I will say, and we mentioned it before, again, Swit Airsoft out of Taiwan. They have, and I think I posted a link on my review of me importing these guns, was they have a page that's just Old West. I am only aware of one double-barrel shotgun. And they make a short version that I know people who own the short version for like Mad Max type guns, but they do make a longer version. In fact, Swit Airsoft actually has real wood furniture for a double barrel shotgun with gas shells. Like those are the old school. The gas goes in the shell, so you really don't want to lose those shells. But so if we were to do something like an Old West kind of competition where you had your single action armies, your lever actions, and your shotguns, if you needed that two double barrel stagecoach gun, there's only I think one gun.
So use a technical as a stagecoach. And you guys could like
roll in.
You try to rob it.
Yeah, someone sit on the front on the hood and go, yeah. But yeah. So again, impractical guns, but sometimes impractical guns are the most fun. And I'm looking at everybody judgy. Like, you even said you didn't like it, but here you are picking it up again.
No, you know what? It's because I'm thinking of those times when you do get a chance to use this and you do get that one kill out of 1,000 times you use it. It was worth the $200 you spent on it.
The worst part about that is that's right before that your GoPro died.
Yeah, so no proof.
Yeah, nobody
no
saw
proof.
Oh, you forgot to turn it on.
All right, so I mean,
it's fun because it's a playable gun. I mean,
Yeah.
all the actions and the things that move on it. It's kind of like the rotary guns. Who cares what it does? It turns.
yes,
and you
it's
shoot
fun.
It.
It's functionally interesting. Now, I do understand from reviews online, because again, these guns are not new. We're going back to the sidearms. We're going back to single action army. I understand the construction of these is not the best. So, like, this model's not meant for fanning. It's got just a regular hammer. Both the Gambler and the Wild Card both have this, wider, softer on your hand or the butt of your hand for fanning. I understand people who have fanned these guns broke them very quickly. And because they're such niche guns, there's not a lot of parts. So
Get a broken one. Maybe I can fix it.
thank you. That's my intention is when we break one, I'll give you the spring and you and other people can figure it out how to fix and make it. So I think that's the only guns we brought, which was a fair amount of guns, I'm not going to lie. And for the record, not all the guns I bought this year. I have so many guns I bought that'll never see the light. I have guns in boxes.
We can talk about gear.
Let's talk about gear. Not guns, let's talk about gear. Alex?
Well, speaking of gear, I am. If anybody's ever played with me, like I am like the anti-gear. Like
You are not.
I don't wear plate carriers.
You're not Gucci, you're not
I'm
Vogue.
not Gucci or anything, dude. Like I won't even put I put my magazine, like my M4 pouches, like on my belt. I don't wear uniform.
Not on Molly on his belt.
Like
just
on
his
my belt. I don't wear a uniform. Like I go with with a brown shirt with the sleeves ripped off because it's so hot. I really push the card when we go to these big games where like, do I really gotta wear multicam? Can I wear like tan?
I remember you asking while we were there, hey, it's pretty hot. Can I just wear my ripped up brown shirt? And didn't they say yes? And you were like, yes. Or someone else was wearing a ripped shirt. You're like,
I think somebody else was wearing a ripped shirt, or like they were just wearing a brown T-shirt, and I'm doing it in my brown T-shirt. Dude, it's like 90 degrees in Texas. It's always hot when we play, and that's why I pass out.
The other 250 players did just fine.
Well, they can sweat and whatever, dude. They can. I want to play comfortable. But this year, I guess if there was gear I did wear, it would probably be a helmet. And last year, it was more like a bike helmet.
Yeah, it was, but you were originally wearing.
It was like a bicycle helmet painted tan. And so this year I got a different helmet. I brought it this one. So I got this helmet. I kind of did some stuff to it. I don't even know what it is, but I got it at Airsoft Armory. It fit good. I kind of liked it. I mean, I put these
comms is something that you upgraded this year, and
yes. And again, I'm not a comms guy either. Like the only reason why I get comms is like, where are you guys? And that is it. And I chase down everybody to, that's pretty much it for comms. But for these comms, I like these ones for the fact that if I am doing like in a house or something or in a room, my ears are protected.
yeah.
Grenades.
Once grenades became a big thing,
Grenades
electronic
became-
hearing pro,
yep.
It's almost a requirement.
Yes, absolutely. But if we're out in the field and I'm not worried about going into a house or anything, I typically don't wear anything.
And now your comms, are these Earmore?
These are I think the Earmore,
Yeah.
like the $100 Earmore, which I think like I said, after I took that flashbang, I think something got screwy on them.
See our review of Starburst where Alex got rocked by a flashbang, like a real flashbang.
and I think
we proved that the Earmore are not real world.
Well, they worked.
Resilient.
They worked.
They worked for that, and
for
then
that,
after
and then
that
that was it. I think it was too loud.
I think my earmores are shot after Sheboygan when me and John took that grenade right between our legs.
So
right? Like I think there's only so much they're capable of, and then those speakers just
Well, like my real ear pro that I own, that's on my real kit, is no, they're $500. These were, $98 on Amazon.
you must
so.
have used the $500.
and again
I'm this year. I think
I'm using
I am.
OpsCore amps. Like I'm running $1,000 the old
Yep.
Gen 1s, but like that's my favorite one because
If I do find if I can find a set that's like a $500 set,
Yeah.
I would get it. I think
and
because
I think we can find Peltors or Sordens that are.
I would actually like strongly suggest the ears as as long as well as really good eye pro.
And I think this helmet is it's a standard clone bump. So it's it's not an unusual helmet. It's a common helmet, but this was a new helmet for you, much more of a military look as opposed to a
Bicycle helmet.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say the bicycle helmet because Alex wears bicycle helmets sometimes just because he has to walk the street, but that's a terrible thing.
But yes, as for gear, like this is it. And I do have a backpack that I got from Caleb that I really like, but that's because I have to wear have a backpack for my air tank.
Yeah.
And even then, like I went to an air stock just to avoid this, having a backpack. This is how ungearish I want to be. So,
and here I can counter your gear story with a gear of overly expensive. So I bought more gear this year than I bought guns, and I bought too many guns. For the record, I am a gear guy. While I do have some clone stuff, I don't run much Condor anymore, but I'm an established Spiritus guy. Spiritus is they're my placard of choice over all the other placards. I do own a Haley.
What's wrong with Condor?
It's fine.
I love Condor.
I mean, I know you do. I think what it is they don't make a placard rig that I really care for. And if I'm being honest, I never saw a Condor rig on SEAL
I just
Team.
like the pouches.
I mean, their pouches are fine. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. I think, though, what I wanted to say before I got into the gear is if you're a gear person or you have trouble finding something, remember there are such great small gear manufacturers in the United States and in Canada. I'm sure there's other places. Those are just the places I order from. Carcajou Tactical, Tracer Tactical, Unobtainium Gear. That's actually pretty well known, even though it's named Unobtainium. They're great. Bees Custom, Flatline Fiber, 8492 Nylon Works. Like my gear is not one type of gear. It's a lot of different kinds. I love these small makers. I'm always watching to see what they have because honestly, they come out with original ideas that the big guys just aren't dealing with because the big guys are making gear for special operations forces and other things. So they're mass producing some things and come out with new designs every other year or something like that. Whereas these small makers are making really interesting things. Again, I'll give a plug to Tracer Tactical, who's making, I'm trying to remember what they're calling it. They have a great gun to carry your sniper rifles and other things. Again, it's a great one. Shaw Concepts and Axle Advanced is two other companies that they have add-ons. Like you need a zipper pouch for your pouch. These are the Belleville, who already make military boots. This is the Min Mill, what do they call it? Barefoot boot.
Does that cost
Barefoot
more
shoe.
than my whole uniform?
I'm trying to.
What I would wear at
Yes.
a big game?
So, no, these are like, I mean, yeah, they're like $150. So I bought these because they're multi-cam shoes. Because everything's got to match.
You got to match. You
Everything's
sound
gotta
like
match.
Rich.
I mean, Rich, these shoes are for you. Other than these are these barefoot shoes, so they're very flat. I'm a fat old man, so like I need inserts and I need wides. These are wides, but they're very flat. I'm going to use these in 2026. This was a later in the year purchase for me. Again, I saw them. They're actually pretty popular, and that's why they've been harder to get, harder to find. But I'm only going to run them at outdoor games because I need more shock absorption if I'm going to play at something where there's going to be flat, buildings or a hard top or cement or anything like that. So, but they're very comfortable. The thing I notice is because they're so flat, if you're used to anything with any kind of, when I say heel, not that we're all wearing 6-inch heels or anything, but like this, I find when I walk on these, man, am I heel heavy, which is the natural progression when you go to these barefoot kind of shoes. So,
The Condor pouches cost more than your whole uniform.
which is not, I mean, it's true, but Alex has his own way.
Yeah, he's definitely not wrong on that.
All I'm going. I'm sorry.
No, no.
Gonna go back. Joe actually brought something up that was really funny. Eggstead was like, "Do you still use high cap mags?"
I mean, I will use high cap mags if I'm allowed. Oh, do you? The guns that come with, do you use the mags that come with your guns?
No, I use the big fat ones. If anybody,
the Surefire 650 mags,
so
which are
850.
850, they're great.
So yes, I still use the big fat mags, but only at open plays. Oh no, any game that'll let me play with them.
Which is true. I love high caps when I'm allowed. In fact, we determined a couple years ago that if we were going to an open session, and again, open sessions are when we just wanted a run and gun light, no gear, no sound, or no hearing comms, we were just bringing our Surefire high caps. One mag, one gun, that lasted the whole round. Like, it's just simple. It's just simple to play that way.
Who wrote Condor Pouches? Scroll up. Who was that?
Condor Pouches much more than your whole. That was Franklin.
No, that was Joe.
Oh, was that Joe? That was Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Joe that said Condor
Joe's
Pouches
hard.
costs more.
The other thing I bought that I actually, and this is more expensive than
My whole uniform.
your whole helmet.
My whole helmet.
This is a 511 quarter zip lightweight. This is nothing. So the reason I bought this is that it's short sleeved. It's a very nice short sleeve model. They have some clones. I just couldn't find one I liked. For those that have ever run the Velocity rugby shirts, it's a very similar feel, very light, very air. I bought this for Texas because I knew it was going to be hot. Again, 511. I'm not a huge 511 supporter so much. I just find their gear's kind of, they shifted what they're making their gear for. It's more Gucci gear with a lot of CrossFit things. But again, this shirt, nothing fancy, but it was a really nice lightweight shirt.
You wore it.
I wore it. It's great. And I will buy another one of these because this one's starting to, I mean, when this one starts to run down, and I'm afraid they're not going to make it anymore. The reason I bought this over the Velocity Rugby, which I do own Velocity Rugby shirts, I just don't own them in multicam, is those are almost too lightweight. Again, if you're real steel shooting and you're on a range in the desert, they're fantastic. At an airsoft game where you're going to get shot, there's not a lot of protection there. This is just a little bit thicker, but still lightweight. So this, I don't know, this was like $160.
Jesus.
Yes, I did pray. No, I didn't pray. That's nothing. That's fine. $160 is great. It was a great shirt. So
LA police gear. That's where I get my stuff.
Do you have your LA police points? They keep sending me emails.
No, I don't got it, but I think my pants were like $20. Then I don't know what they are now. I'm still wearing them.
I did buy a pair of Crytek G3 combat pants this year and anybody knows that's a $400 pair of pants. So I'm not how much did you buy that shotgun for and fix it with a Swiss Army knife?
$30.
Yeah, there you go. So
I found a Swiss Army knife.
Hashtag single life.
yes, that's kids, lives with his parents, two mothers, single guy. I get to do whatever I want.
No, I take care of my two moms.
Why two dads? Okay, that's great. No judgment. We said we weren't going to swim.
Is that why you wear the bike helmet?
Because every once in a while he strokes out. Did you have other gear you wanted to show?
I did, but okay. I will say.
No, we should show this.
He doesn't wear any other gear to show.
No, we should show this because
because
if there was a trash bin full of tactical gear,
that's me.
There we go.
Yeah, but okay.
No,
and for the record, I am notorious for selling crap.
Yeah.
For selling,
or giving it away.
Giving stuff away because I can't. Okay.
So I think the important thing about this is, though, because we changed our rigs a little bit for Starburst.
Yes.
Because we had to sustain ourselves longer than we were used to at most games.
So for Starburst, I had a battle belt, and I went.
And you prefer battle belts.
And I prefer battle belts. Yeah. In these situations, so I went with this thing. I don't know, like.
For those that can't hear it, David, our producer, is laughing.
I went with this G-string looking one.
G-string. I mean, okay. That's
good. I don't know. I haven't used it. I've planned to use it, but I haven't.
Is this a Crydex belt?
Yeah.
Amazon? So, for those that don't know, Crydex makes a lot of clone gear. It's good gear. It's. I think Emerson is the best clone gear you can get. Crydex is easily available on Amazon, and they make solid gear. So if you're looking for
$30 on Amazon,
I mean, I think that's Crydex probably like 50, but I mean it's similar, right?
I don't really care. Like I wanted to see what it was like, and if for $30 I wanted to see it.
Look at his dump pouch. That is the grandpa dump pouch. That is the tidy whitey of friggin' dump pouches, airsoft community. Oh my gosh.
Like the elastic is gone.
And the fortunate thing is you can take a dump in it, like an actual dump if you need to. Your whole ass will fit in that.
So does all your gear minus your guns fit in like a 10-gallon Rubbermaid tote?
Well, I actually.
You can pack everything very small.
Well,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna feel real dumb, because I did buy a huge Pelican case.
So that's actually something we should talk about, actually.
I actually, if anybody knows Pelican cases, I was able to, for Starburst, I did a whole 1560 Pelican case, which is a smaller Pelican case. Anybody who's a traveling mechanic, probably knows exactly what I'm talking about. But I was able to stuff everything I wanted in there, which was fine. I noticed that Gabe had a Pelican 1615 Pelican Air case, which is the exact dimensions before it goes into an oversized bag for traveling.
It is the largest Pelican you can bring on a plane
without
going over.
And
it's an air because it's lighter specifically so you can overload it.
So then I saw that and I was like, man, if I just just like in anything else, like you all want a little bit more room, but I guess with the 15, there was one I had 1620, I think that's what it is. It's very discreet looking, like nobody thinks that there's a gun,
It is very commonly, and that's kind of probably the problem. They're used for photographers. They're used by mechanics. Again, it's a very common case you'll see flying for people who are actually working.
But I bought that the Pelican Air 1516 case. It was 1620, 1610, 1615.
1615. It's not on our list.
1615 case, and I got that on Black Friday. So that's now my official case for. I think I'm gonna use that for everything.
Yeah, I'll be honest. So I borrowed a friend's to go to a game last year, in North Carolina. I bought our friend Crunk is online. I borrowed his, scratched it up for him because he hadn't used it yet. But I bought it to see how I liked it, and I actually didn't bring guns that trip, but it was all my gear and my regular.
Was it a brand new one?
It was a brand new one.
It's funny because I had my brand new Pelican case and I put it under the plane, came back just fucked. Oh, sorry.
You're trying to be good.
Trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But it came back scratched up and just dented.
Well, just like
everything.
just like a gun.
So,
you want to get it scratched.
For the record, anybody who don't buy a colored Pelican case. They really scratches and everything.
They throw it harder.
They really show. So, but no, I bought a large Pelican case so I could put all my stuff that I don't use in it
and look good doing it.
And look good doing it.
I mean, that's the kind of case where you put it inside your car in your neighborhood and your neighbors go, ooh, who is this guy? Again, so I borrowed a buddy's last year and I bought it this year for that reason, because I knew it was such a great case for flying. And we did our after action report for Starburst, and we said, if you're going to fly, have a good Pelican case, check it as check your airsoft guns as real firearms. That case counts as your totally enclosed case. It's a great case. So it is expensive. What did you pay for yours on Black Friday?
Black Friday, $250.
$250?
$250 Black Friday.
That is a stunningly good deal for that. I think I paid $325 or something.
Yeah, mine was at $259, I think.
And you didn't send out a group text?
Yeah,
nope, that was a secret.
That's also how he rolls, by the way. He'll find deals. He won't buy them, but he'll tell us about it after he gets home.
What do you mean?
Hey, you went and you were in Airsoft Atlanta and told us about all the tagging stuff they had, and then told us after you left.
Yeah, what was I supposed to do?
Buy it. But,
you can't fly with
You
explosives.
shipped it to us.
I know.
Illegally. Not that I endorse that. In fact, that is something I would never.
That's actually how I got my 308 Airsoft. I went to, I think, Airsoft.
You sure you want to say this out loud?
What?
Are you going to say something?
No, not at all.
Okay,
I went there. And they had a gun, and I was like, "Oh, it's broken." I was like, "Hey, if I buy it, will you ship it to me?" And they're like,
yeah.
"Sure."
Yeah.
And I bought it on the spot, and they shipped it to my house.
That's like that bomb thing we should have bought at.
No, we shouldn't have.
That
thing was such.
Yes, you should have. You should have bought that.
Thank you.
I saw that, and I was.
The angel on each my shoulder.
By the time I messaged you to find out how much it was, you had already left.
It's
I was
probably
gonna be
still
like,
there.
It's still there. I'm sure. And I have family in Texas right now. I can call them.
There's two
and
of
have
them
there.
there.
Yeah, one's not
Well, one's gutted.
There's a whole story around that too. But all right. Any other gear you had?
Just other than that, I mean, again, for me, gear is something I try not to use just because I like to run and gun, and I don't like to get hot and sweaty and carry.
And it can be expensive,
around.
right? Like if you're gonna, like you got some. again, depending
That's
on
never
your
been my
budget.
issue. I just don't want.
I'm just trying to make you feel better, dude.
I just don't like carrying stuff. And I
Thank
will
you,
say
Tom.
this.
Thomas, we should have bought it.
I will say this. I have all that stuff. I have a full kitted.
Yeah, you have all
multi-cam.
sorts of stuff.
I have the full kitted BDU kit. I have all that stuff. And to a degree, like if I have to, yes, I'll wear the whole thing with just a battle belt. Or
Battle belts are fine. Lots of people like battle belts.
yeah, but it's my G-string battle belt.
I think that's everybody who sees this video. Please refer to Alex's battle belt as his G-string for all of 226, please. Other gear things. Where are we time wise? We're doing well, but we'll keep rolling through.
Somebody ask us questions.
So I'm going to show this, and this is nothing special. This is just a patch. It is a very common patch that I see on soldiers, right? Like, and even them, maybe this is too fancy for some of them because they get issued stuff. This is a $20 ID patch you can get on Amazon right now. There's nothing wrong with these. I have purchased a lot of patches from Patch Panel CA, so Canada. And the reason I don't order from them is tariffs, and they were already more expensive, probably maybe $10 more than this. These are great. You can adjust having reflective back, laser cut name patches. You can adjust having reflective or non-reflective depending on your flavor. If you get non-reflective, they're cheaper. Your name, your U.S. flag, if that's your flex. Some have other options. Maybe you can get a pirate flag. Your blood type, and what's supposed to be is blood type, and then if you have allergies. So no known allergies, or NNAP stands for
medical cord. Medical, yeah. You get a whole medical you're on there.
If you're really messed up, you need a whole different. You need to hold the patch for that.
I honestly think people should carry medical. A
Yeah,
medical card regardless.
That's a sidebar. That's a good sidebar. These patches are not expensive and they're great for ID. One of the things that we talked about, and it's not a new thing. Like you need them for all the larger games.
You have to have them for larger games.
Yes, you have to have an emergency contact card that you carry with you. And when we were at Starburst, they had orange and neon orange and neon green, and they were like, everybody fill this out. And then one of the things that Sal said that was really a great idea, and actually I built one, and I'll share it out, is you should just have one, a bright colored emergency contact card. Have it in your uniform for every game you go to. Doesn't even matter. Now, if your emergency contact's going to change, like if when we were together, I put him as my contact, he put me, and then you had your wife, and I had a buddy of mine, I had Tank on mine. So if something happened, they could call that person or have it. But like I built a template for myself, and I'm going to print it out, and I'm going to laminate it, because just having your cardstock melt. I don't know about yours, but like from Starburst, it just shredded by the end.
I thought
of
they
the
said
sweat.
something that's got to be in your right shoulder or left shoulder.
That's specific to that game. The card. Now, some places will send a card. I don't care. American Milsim, they actually sent out in your packet, this is the card we want. I don't care. Like, yes, I do care, but like I also don't care. I'm gonna have a medical card that I'm just gonna start carrying, and I actually have a personal medical card that's like my meds and my doctor, but like just for emergency contacts. It's a good thing to have. I'll release the template. It's nothing fancy. Having your own and laminating it on top of everything else. The cheap laminators that you can get for office supplies, they're not going to last forever either, but it'll last longer than one day.
Packing tape.
Packing tape?
I think we need to standardize that for surely here in Minnesota.
I mean,
as a real medic.
Yeah, there you go. So like,
as something happens on the airsoft field, I'm coming up to you, and
I'll work it out with a couple people, and then this is one of those things that I think we could pitch to every field and just say, hey, you don't have to require it for every player, because I think that's the harder part. Like, you have kids and you have new players, but like saying if you have one, have it in your right pouch.
Or what do you call them? They're you do the waiver. I know it's not a thing, but like
you are not going to get 100% adoption on that in an open session. It's impossible.
I know.
So I would never go for that.
But if they had them there, if they had them, just the cards there, even if they weren't laminated, they could quickly be filled out.
Sure.
30 seconds
again,
and thrown it on you.
I think it's a great idea that maybe, again, as a service, like, again, making a template's not going to be that hard, but an easily printable template that a field could then have, you're right, David, and then just cut them out and be like, hey, if you want one of these, take one.
The only reason why
putting them on cardstock is not hard to do.
The only reason why I really say that is because when we play those night games, like a lot of stuff can happen.
100%. But not a lot of people have played a night game before.
Yeah, I know. But with the last night game we played, some dude blew his face out.
I mean, that was the
Well,
that
could have been
was
worse.
last year's night game held at Twin Cities Airsoft by Airsoft Armory. Not the fault of either of them. A very excited player got an objective, turned around, ran
Ran into something.
full speed into a sheet metal roof right at nose level, and it almost cut off his nose. It was gnarly. But yes, now that was a story we probably didn't need to share. But other than the fact and to say, having an emergency card would be a nice, especially if someone's unconscious.
Yes,
But,
that's what
like,
I'm. That's what
I
I'm
get
getting
it.
at.
I get it.
Somebody
It's-
unconscious.
It's just it's hard to endorse. It's hard to enforce that when we can't even enforce goggle rules.
And I would say it for just the aspect of if you have a medical condition.
Yeah,
If
I get it.
if I've played a couple games where people have fallen down, gotten hurt, they seem a little dazed. If they had the card, I could pull it out and be like, "Oh, this person has syncope.
Well,
this person has this."
Or
knowing
even be able
that.
to ask for it.
I'd
Do you
like
have a
to-
card? Hey, do you have a medical card? I do. I mean, maybe that's good. I'll also say that's what these are for. So again, I'm allergic to naproxen, which is a leave. So I can't take a leave. It gives me heart palpitations, or it did when I was 24. Either way, I still have NAP. If you want to look up, you have an allergy. If you have 10 allergies, you're messed, and you're going to need to have a card. If you have one allergy, penicillin. Not that anyone's going to apply penicillin at a field, but like that's why they have these. That's why these are military grade patches. Put allergic, and these sections are for blood type and allergies, but you can put anything you want. You can be clever if you want. There's a purpose to them.
Yeah, just to say on the final
Look
thing
up
on
syncope.
Yeah, I don't know what that
I
is.
don't know what the heck syncope. Here I am. I'm like, what the hell syncope?
The best thing about that card would be is if someone hits their head, you can, and they don't have a friend around, you can at least confirm with them name. So and check a few things to check concussion protocol. That would be the plus. Not even calling somebody, just being able to know, hey, this is their name. If they tell me they're Bob and their name's really Gabe, I'm like, we might be wanting to
Well,
have
what
you
is
sit down.
syncope, by the way?
Syncope is
Syncope.
Oh, syncope paid.
Like that's when we pee together and then we.
Syncope.
I'll get
close enough.
I'll get the technical term for you.
What happens when you're a medic? Well, I'll talk
Forget
about
that. Never mind. I'll look it up on my own time.
a couple other things I bought that I used this year. This is nothing fancy either. This is pretty common. This is a double tank regulator or double tank. It's not the I still have to put a regulator. What would you call this?
Double.
There's a
Double.
double. Thank you. I shouldn't have asked the guy who spent dumb money on his gear.
I found it in a trash can, actually.
This is the dual up tank adapter by Amped Airsoft. So this takes two of your smaller tanks. The reason I bought this is this fits in a flat pack, actually flat. So if you're an HPA person who runs a 3600 tank or something larger, the larger tanks, but now you have something that large thing, sitting on your back, that can be a hassle. This is a really nice setup. This is actually more air than I think these are 22, so this is
26.
26s. So this ended up to being more air than my big tanks.
So
It's just
48.
Thank you.
26.
Is that really?
Yep,
the math?
48.
I don't do math. Either way, so this was a really nice thing. I used this a couple times this year, but fits perfectly in a flat pack. It just fits in a flat pack, but it fits. So when you add the regulator, that's a little extra size, but it still worked out great.
That's something I want to try with you next year. Is trying that setup.
Yeah. I know lots of people have. I know people who've built their own. I decided I'm very much like a build it or buy it guy. I always say build it or buy it. Alex is a build it guy. I'm a buy it guy. So if someone has it already,
Sam was the guy who first started that, wasn't he?
Josh and Crunk both did it, but they built theirs, but also with there was a point this year where we were talking about if your air is dirty, that's just going through your gun, and now you had to clean out your guns at some point. So they actually put filters in theirs. This is not filtered, and if that's your thing, if you care enough about that, that's a thing. Thank you. See, your math is wrong too.
52.
Thank you. What else?
I will say with my gun, like with my fusion engine, with the filter and air filter thing. Like, I've had my Fusion engine for over 10 years, and all I've ever done was literally glued the nozzle. I've done nothing else, and I wouldn't be surprised if I've had like over 100. I don't even know, 100,000 rounds.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like HPA again, we know there are people who hate HPA. It's not for everybody.
I could say a whole, rice bag, however. Like
BBs,
a
right?
whole rice bag of BBs have gone through.
I'm not going to make a claim like that because if I do, my gun's going to break in the spring. But I will say that they're, HPA guns are great. Used responsibly like anything else. I have two other things I'll show. I have not used this. This is new to me. Rich Cudahy, again, keyed me in on this one. This is a mesh and GPS tracking device that was made by a guy called Matsu Labs. Oh, it turned on. Interesting. By Matsu Labs on Etsy. As we were talking about the Ares Alpha boxes and bringing more technology into games, that's what these kinds of things are going to be for. So this is, again, like I said, a mesh, long range and GPS tracking unit that you can sync up to your team, and then your commanders can watch your team movements, and you could use it yourself if you want with an app to like find your other team members or get GPS coordinates, things like that. Again, more technology on the field. I can already hear my friend Josh saying, someone could hack that and then find where you are on the field. I am a fat guy. I'm a fat 53-year-old guy. If you can't find me on a field, you are the suckiest player ever. That's not my concern. It's like having my GPS on my watch. Okay. Like, this is an interesting piece of technology, and if it helps the commanders help figure out where I am so they can position me, or for videos later, which look super cool in the talk or after, that's just great. So I'm looking forward to using this.
How much is that?
This was 135.
Oh, damn.
It's more than your helmet and your comms.
Again,
But it's cool.
Again, that goes in the category something more than his gear.
Yes. But if you're with me, which you often are, we can just be the Brown brothers. Brown by skin.
Wow.
We can say that. We're brown. I think the last thing I'll say as a plus, and I've not used this in a game yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. And this is new to me, new to the United States, in the fact that you could get these from overseas, but only recently did I start to see Amped and EVIC have this. This is the E-Shooter smoking tracer unit. So it's a tracer unit that also is a vape. That's what I'm going to call it, because it comes with a bottle of smoke fluid, which is just whatever it is. I don't know what the mix is. But then if you want to buy extras, which you're going to need, I think they say every 500 shots you're going to need to refill it. They basically sell scented fluid. So when I run out of the standard fluid, I'll be shooting strawberry smoke. And you can get mango smoke, and I can't remember what the other ones are, but it's delightful.
Blueberry pancakes.
The two things I'm going to say about this one is, first of all, there's an app. Oh, I got to turn it on.
Well, the nice thing is I can fill my e-cig and fill my...
Yes, both together.
And fill my...
And you can suck your vape out of the tracer unit.
No, you got to do it out of the front, right?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Like, this is so unsafe. We do not endorse this, but it's just it's a funny thing to think about. So first of all, again, so there is an app for this where you can turn on the settings, so you don't have to remember how many buttons and how many flashes. I love Ace Tech tracers, but I had to make a cheat sheet for myself so that I could remember what to do. So this has an app so that I can, and I'm just going to show this. So, I can change the color.
Show the video, man. It probably doesn't show up.
Yeah, I'm just doing the color. So I can change the color of my tracer unit, which I think is fun. I love a rainbow tracer unit. You can turn off the smoky function, and we'll see if this works. It worked earlier. So the more shots you do, it actually smokes. Again, completely ridiculous. But also, if I'm next to you and I'm shooting, and all of a sudden you look over and there's smoke coming out of my barrel, you're going to think that's dope. And you know what? You're going to be right.
You need to pair that with the RBX An amplifier.
I really want an RVX.
So
I'm
do
the
I.
boss.
If anyone's got a
If
boss,
anyone's got a boss,
I want it.
He's not going to pay for it.
Yes, I will.
Pay real money for the boss.
I'll pay real money for
Because we
it.
know someone in Wisconsin who has one. So
I'll buy one. Just so I can have one.
I think that's our highlights.
I think CC's is selling those. They were on a TCA with them.
Crapping me.
DC Military, they don't have those.
They had them at Gag.
This year?
Yeah.
They don't have
Let's
those.
call
Yeah.
them. Let's call them right now. What time is it? Shoot. 7:40.
That'd be cool.
If they do, we've got these are $800, $700, $8 units.
I
For
had
those
an
that don't know,
opportunity.
They were selling ones they were like $100 ones, and they were given
that's
with
not
liquid.
It's not the same, but it's fine.
not the same. I don't think they have the app version.
Okay. I will still look at some. Anyway,
It sucks because I had an opportunity to buy one, and it was
we didn't think for
again. It
ourselves
was that
to-
me not telling anybody.
Yes,
when
thanks a
I
lot
see
for that.
stuff.
Yeah, I joined several Facebook groups so I can find it.
Yeah, but you invited me.
Yes, I did. I have one, what I'm going to call low light for 2025, and I just want to get it out of the way. And I'm not slamming them. I did a series of videos on Instagram. I'm going to do some new videos on this, just because because our influence is growing so much. It's not true, but the
What's the name of the tracer
Stingray.
again?
What's the name of the stream? It's the E-Shooter. You can get it at Amped and Evic, and it is called the E-Shooter Flare Smoky BT Rechargeable Tracer Unit. That's a
Found
mouthful. $100. That's the other thing, guys. We didn't talk prices on some of this stuff. That E-Shooter is $100. That's the price of a regular Ace Tech, depending on the kind you're getting. So it also is a chrono. I forgot to say that on the app. Once it's paired, it's a chrono too. So it's got everything. Longevity, I don't know, right? Like it could break after a game. I'm not sure. But let's find out together. It's a pretty cool piece of, again, you're going to play night games. It's a great piece of technology. All right, last thing I think on our list. This is the Stingray Claymore. For those that don't remember, Stingray Airsoft was at SHOT Show 2025, and they had two products. They had their AT4 rocket launcher, and they had these Claymores. I wasn't interested in the AT4 because we went in a different way with launchers.
It was a big commitment too.
And it was a big financial commitment.
It's a big commitment for a gamble.
And that it's a new product, right? 3D printed product, untested. They had some videos, but all the videos were of their own guys. And all the videos you mostly see of these units,
You weren't even them shooting it.
I mean, no, it is them. It's their sponsored
Yeah.
team, which is, I can't remember the name of the team right now.
I
but
feel like the videos I saw, it was like cool music and like.
No, but that's how they do. I mean, it's their sponsored team, and they know how to use them. So if you need to tap twice, then lick it, and then flick the air in order to get these to work. Thank you. They know those tricks. I bought this with my own money. I didn't ask for a deal. Again, I reviewed these over the early summer. I didn't get this to work at all. It was disappointing, to say the least, which is too bad because I actually think there's got a lot of hope for this. That's all I'm going to say about it. It was a low light for me. The unit altogether was probably $400, and it's a paperweight. It's a story. We are going to SHOT Show in 2026, which is a good transition to our next section. We are going to interview them again, and I'm going to talk to them, and I'm not going to be rude because that's not going to benefit anybody. But I'm going to ask them, if they've made any improvements, if they've had any other complaints, if, who their target market is. I'm going to ask the questions because I think Claymores are cool. There is a local player, and I can't recall his name. If he's here or if someone knows it, you can put it in the chat. Who bought one of their AT4s? He had pretty good results with his AT4, but also their rounds are one-time use. So unlike
$25.
yeah, right, $25 for every rocket. So that player was trying to retrofit. And mad respect to him for trying. He's had some mixed results on that, but they make single-use units, and now they have a new mortar system, which is a single-use mortar. So if you're trying to dial something in, you got to use another unit, and I think those are $35 a piece or something. So again, we're going to interview them 2025, their first year of producing products. I'm willing to give them some leeway, but I really hope that when we talk to them, they can give us some updated information about all their products and try to sell us, because frankly, as they are now, they're paperweights. And as you were noting, they're 3D printed with obviously technology in them and engineering. So like it's not like they're just, oh, we're 3D printing someone else's design. They're putting work into these, but they are 3D printed things. So
They put a lot of time in designing it, but it's like-
100%. But the quality control is not there yet. So anyway, that's if I had anything that I purchased this year that repeatedly came up as, I wish I wouldn't have spent that much money, or I wished I would have pushed customer support harder. Like I did make some fairly glaring posts online, and they just ignored them all. But I'm going to talk to them in person, and we'll see. So
no, they did not respond. I don't think.
No, they never did.
That was one thing I really wanted to work because it was something else I could attach to the top of my Roomba. You know, it would have been
Or
great.
you could just strap one onto a young player and say, "Run that way," because young players don't know what they're doing, and they'll do whatever you say.
I was gonna bring up another tool I bought.
Oh
this
yeah,
year.
no, that's a good tool too. Yeah, that's a
So
good tool.
this year, before we travel, I bought this tool. This is specifically for HPAs to take off the regulators. I really like this thing. This is a really great tool for everything. Not only that, like it tightens up your regulator in case you need to. It's got a spare O-ring. You can bleed your tank. So when you're
Obviously, these are full tanks, but you can use it for effect.
But yeah, they fit on your rig like that, and you just take them off. But you got to have no air. But they have a bleed on here, so you just screw it on. And I'm not gonna bleed it, but
Yeah, please don't. It's full.
but you can bleed it till it runs out of air. When it runs out, when it's completely empty, you're able to twist these things off for traveling purposes. Really nice tool. I think I paid like $20 for it. Was it like 20
Oh,
bucks?
I think they were more expensive.
Were they?
'Cause I bought one too. Yeah, because he bought one, then I bought one. Because they're just, if you run HPA, they do not fit on everything.
They don't fit on everything, but
So, but it was a good tool, and this was an Amazon purchase, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And also it has a tool like this is like the everything tool for these regulators. You can take your burst disc off, then it has a spare burst disc. It's got a tool so you can actually take your burst disc off. It's got a spare O-ring in case you tear the O-ring. Great tool. I mean, if you're traveling with HPA tanks, this is a must-have.
It's in my field, but in my field bin.
You
It's
have
in my
to have
field
it.
tool
Yes.
bin. Yeah.
It's a good field tool to have, and like I said, for traveling, you got to have it.
And I will say that the tanks that didn't work for me were my older tanks, which frankly they were older tanks and maybe they're out of spec. So either way, that was a good find that you got this year that we ended up buying.
Yeah, it was expensive. I used to pay that.
Very shocking to you.
I didn't find it in a trash bin at a
Well, there's
MA.
yeah, at an MMA con, but that's mostly you throwing stuff in the trash. I think that's all the items for 2025 we had. We talked about games. Let's transition to just some quick 2026 thoughts.
Rich would like to know what that was called.
Oh,
It's just a tool.
I mean, great. Alex did not do the homework that I did for. If you look on Amazon for HPA tank tool, I think you probably find it there. If not, we can send the link. Yeah,
It says rig multi-tool, Rich.
and it's an HK Army. So HK Army makes tanks, makes HPA tanks.
I'll find it and I'll send it to Rich.
But the fact again, HK Army makes some of the most standard tanks. In fact, mine are all HK Army tanks. So if you just look up HK Army regulator tool or HK Army HPA tank tool, that's where you'll find it. And again, I want to say it was like 30.
Was it $30?
Again, it wasn't expensive. If you have HPA tanks,
You got to have one if you have HPA
Yeah.
tanks and if you're traveling.
I mean, so, and this is going back to Starburst, Alex decided to disassemble his tank so he could fly with them. I was lucky to have Rich. I gave my tanks actually to him, and he drove them down, so they were already full when we got down there. That was great for me, whereas Alex had to scamper a little bit to find. We had to wait to fill our tanks, which is sometimes you need your tank so you can even chrono. So that was something, but
Yeah, but we were going to have to fill our tanks anyways. You're
I
never
mean,
gonna...
my tanks were full. Yes, at some point, but the tool came from the fact that Alex wanted to take apart his tanks. So that's where that came from. He's looking at his history too, but
Just go HPA tank tool.
I just posted the link up in chat. They're going for $40 right now. And
Maybe did you spend 40? Maybe that was a you even
No,
didn't
I
realize.
actually found a guy who sold it to me a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
I didn't want to
'cause it was broken?
because it was broken.
It's coming across as HK Army Tank Regulator Multi-Tool.
It's a
But-
great tool. If you start, and we didn't even get into that, but that this could be a whole other video about what kind of tools do you carry or bring to games, either on your person or otherwise. But that was another. I'm glad you brought that. That was something we had both.
No,
ended
I
up
thought that
buying
was a
this
great.
year.
Like
And
honestly, I thought that was a great tool.
mine has ended up being used by my buddies. So the fact of just having it in my house means that people have used it. All right, let's shift to 2026. What games are you looking forward to in 2026?
Ooh, 2026. Oh, ooh, God. I'm hoping to hit up 2 TCA games, which is Starburst.
Third Coast Airsoft.
Third
Yeah.
Coast Airsoft, which is Stonebreaker, which is coming up May, I believe.
Yeah, it's in May at GTI in North Carolina.
And Starburst in probably September or October. So anybody wants to
Florida,
come,
Texas. Yep.
anybody wants to come out. Give a shout out to Rich Kahuddy. He'll hook you up, or us. I also want to try to get to that D-Day game there at Twin City Airsoft. They also have that D-Day game, but it's the same day as the AMS Northern Front. So I'm kind of up in the air on that one. I don't know where I'll go, but I'll try to hit that one. And then, other than that, those are the kind of games I'm thinking about doing. I don't know about any mirror games. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll see what happens. And I don't know what comes up because how always a game comes up mid. Just stand by. Here
it's
comes a game.
mirror games are.
And not
they're-
about mirror, but anybody
Yeah,
else.
but mirror games specifically, 'cause your list is about the same as mine. Other than I'd like to make a mirror game. I'd like to go, and this is where it'll be with other people. So David and the Night Stalkers went to Sheboygan. They went to. Did you guys also do Sky Shield? No, but you're thinking about Sky Shield. So we did Sky Shield in 2024.
Yeah, Sky Shield is a guaranteed this year. We've already.
Sky Shield is in the UP on an an old Air Force base.
Radar station.
For Air Force Base. It's fun. There is a monster hill on that field, which I don't want to run up again. But either way, like that, I didn't play any mirror games this year, but we didn't play pretty much any other than that Third Coast Airsoft. So
Well, there wasn't anything close, and I'm not really interested in playing any of the. After playing like no peeing and stuff, like schools and stuff, I'm just not interested in like hospitals and schools.
yeah, I mean, part of it's that I always say play an interesting field, or if you get a chance to play a mall, which Mir has a mall game in Louisiana coming, I think in January.
Yeah, January 19th, right
like-
before SHOT Show, literally that weekend.
Oh, that's why we're not going. But I mean, like when we played the mall game in North Carolina, which is still run by Lion Claws, John Liu and Lion Claws. We went to the first one of that. It was hella fun. When you get if you get a chance to play in a mall at some point in your airsoft career, play in a mall. If they allow you to throw grenades in that mall because they don't care about fire alarms, even better. If they'll allow you to crash through walls, they don't anymore. But if they allow you to destroy the mall, it's even better. Either way, if you get a chance to play a mall, you should play a mall. But so I'm looking at some mirror games. I wouldn't mind it. We mentioned American Milsim AMS's Northern Front. Looking at the chat. Yes, batteries not included. I'm going to be at batteries not included, but I'm going to help run it because I like to help run that game. And my big thing will try to get batteries not included at Crossfire to be a larger game. I know Reckon would prefer to keep the integrity of that game, so he doesn't want a 100-player game, but I think 40 to 50 people at that game would be baller. So I will be at that game, but I'm going to help ref it.
What if I use an AEG at that game? No AEGs?
You can't. Northern Front. The last Northern Front that was held at Action Sports Wisconsin, I had words with the organizer. I not think it was a well-run game. I might have used some colorful language. I do not often lose control. I might have lost a wee bit of control at the last AMS event I went to. I am willing to give it another try. But I would also do it as, I might do it as a support thing where I will offer to help a bunch of Minnesota players go. I'll just help organize you to go.
I had a great time there.
You caught that grenade. It was
Because a
great
grenade came in, I hit it like a war hero, dude. A grenade came at me, and I was like,
Actually, you took it and you threw it into
Oh, yeah,
the tires right
I
in front
took
of you. It was
it and
great. It was a great scene.
Live grenade, took it and threw it. It was awesome. There was no video of it.
No, so but people saw it, so
Yes.
it's just as important. So I am probably going to try that AMS game. I'm going to go to gags again. I will say the spring gag is on Memorial Weekend. I have an aversion to playing games on holiday weekends. I know for some people it's, oh, I have extra time off. It's easy. Those people don't own cabins. I own a cabin. I'm probably going to be at my cabin for spring gag, but I'm going to end up at a gag because I love shooting technicals. And I love shooting Southern Minnesota Airsoft's technicals more than anybody else's. That's not true. I like shooting the Knot Stalkers. I like shooting the Wasp Tank. I like shooting Quack Force. I love all your technicals and shooting them. So I'll probably do that. And you'll see me for sure at Tarkov at Action Sports. In July, that game has shifted, but there's a group of old Minnesota Airsoft Association players who are the USEC Rogues, and I like doing it. It's a hell of a lot of fun. So,
David, you got any places you're playing?
Yeah, we're doing Sky Shield.
here's Sky Shield and the UP.
Yep. Gag. We're gonna attempt to do Gag spring. I will be doing, if all the details get finalized, Nightshade, Night Stalkers team game out at Big Lake.
And that's hopefully going to be in June-ish timeframe?
June-ish. Yep. I think it's the third week in June tentatively right now.
Yep.
Still working that out. Fall Gag because we are going to be destroying Marshall in the southern Minnesota, leadership.
Shots fired. Literally.
But Patrick from Night Stalkers is going to be the command, and Marshall is going to be Commander Blue. And then, depending on how things work out, probably back out again at Sheboygan. But that's Labor Day weekend, so I'm not sure on that one.
And Sheboygan is a mirror game.
Yep. And then I'm thinking maybe with you guys out TCA in October at Fort Hood.
Fort Hood. Again, I think we will try to make a concerted effort to bring more people out to Third Coast Airsoft Starburst in Texas. Whether it be flying or driving, there's different options. We'll help promote that game just because we had a hell of a good time. And here's where I'll make the pitch again for Tier 1. For those who can afford it, we will help you get ready for Tier 1. It is a different kind of thing. It was a hell of a lot of fun.
I thought it was great. It was probably worth that.
What are we, 45? It
It was
wasn't.
an extra like $40.
Yeah,
it was
wasn't bad.
worth
It was
every.
good.
It was
It was
worth
fine.
every penny.
Yeah, we had a great time. And it was chaos, which was also a hell of a lot. They used pyro and everything. So anyway, so that would, then you already said Fall Gag. You already said
Yeah, and then I
Starburst.
think the Starburst, and then I think I'm going to attempt to, I'm going to make it a family vacation. I'm going to go down to whatever, Florida for the one in December.
Yeah.
Amir Tactical has the one in,
Yep.
Oh, at that prison camp or whatever.
yeah, whatever. I don't know. It's a long I. Looks like it should be a Wisconsin city. you
They
know,
have natives there too, sir.
I'm just saying Wisconsin.
It is a native-y name.
Yes, Wisconsin seems to corner the market. Oconomowoc is a city. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Did you just find that or did you look it up?
No, I used to work there.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It's like that name you bring, like expesticide. What was he saying?
It's syncope because we're going to sync our P. That's how I'm going
Oh,
to remember
syncope.
No,
Yes,
no,
that's
no,
what
no,
it
no.
was.
that. Syncopes, yes. All right. Well, anything closing thoughts on 2025 Airsoft? Both of you.
I wish I would have got out more. Like
Your life was complicated this year.
Yeah, yeah, but I really have a lot of open time. I feel like a lot of the reasons why I don't go out is like I want to go out with the people I know or people like I'm used to playing with. Like seeing familiar faces really, like brightens the game for me. Like when I go out to a field and I see like new faces, it's like I was like, oh man, I don't know anybody here. You guys know what it's like. Like being the new kid, and granted, like I've been playing longer than these kids have probably been alive.
There you go.
But I see like these old school players, like like Joe's on here, and I see like it's nice just to go with a guy
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just hate going to a field and.
The counter to that, is the more you go out, the more people you meet, then you know more people.
Yeah, I guess the way I dress too probably doesn't help because I look far from a person who plays.
Just because you're our local homeless airsoft player does not.
Yeah, if
make-
you would stop taking everything out of your car in a trash bag,
Dude, how else are you supposed to carry it?
in your
Yeah.
Pelican 1615.
Yeah, now it's a Pelican 1615. Okay,
wrapped
can't
in,
get- you can't get
wrapped in
any-
a trash bag.
you can't get, so it doesn't get scratched.
It's a 1615 full of trash bags. That's his tactical carry method.
So, no, I don't know. I just wish I would have gone out more for 2025. 2026, God, I just want to get out there and play. I'm going to try to go to every field for 26. I'm going to try to get to my 2 large games, with or without you.
That's the way to go. Just make a commitment and go.
The only thing is, I'll, for the record, I will never go to a national game by myself. Unless it's something that's so.
I mean, but we got crew now. I mean, going with Rich. We know.
I know.
Rich
Well, yeah,
and-
yeah.
and-
Rich is fine. Yeah, Rich and those guys. But I'm saying
It's-
not knowing.
It
a
is
single
nicer.
soul.
We flew together. We drove together. It is nice just having. It's the old day, and I say this is
A partner.
The olden day. We're
partner.
partners. In the olden days, caravanning, and David, you're in that zone now. Caravanning to games can be a hell of a lot of fun.
And it's a
Great,
blast.
4 cars. Everybody's got a radio.
the last time.
Jokes and who would you, marry, kill.
Remember the last
the
time
other
when
unfriendly
we
word.
drove down to was it Action Sports? Kept saying vagina.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say what we said, but there is a camaraderie to the road trip, right? But there's a camaraderie to any of the traveling.
Yeah, but I wasn't in the group. Remember, I wasn't in the group, and I was just screaming in the radio until you guys got in range.
I mean, that was what you were trying to catch up to us. Yes, I do remember.
We did that whole going to Sheboygan. Myself, Franklin, and John all met up, at different points because Franklin comes from Fargo, John's coming from Hastings. We all met up and we, caravanned out the whole way.
Yeah. Again, there's something just nice about that.
Yep.
I don't know anything else. I was gonna say anything else. So for 2005 is that in 2006, like I said, trying to get to those games with my friends and getting out there,
Always the struggle.
trying to meet new people too.
That is a worthy goal.
You
We're
know,
not necessarily doing our New Year's resolutions, but we're here. We're almost there.
I
David,
don't know,
what do you
I'm just,
got?
I'm just a shy guy, man. I don't know.
I guess my downsides to 25 was it seemed to be every time I went to go play, it was either cold or rainy. Go figure.
That bums out.
But again, played all of them. Went and did as best as I could. 26, I'm just I retired. Actually, this weekend is my last day in the live music industry, so I'm purposely retiring from it to play more airsoft.
Congratulations.
So
One expensive hobby for another expensive hobby.
yeah, let's talk about expense. Going buy a trailer. See, I'm the complete opposite as Alex. I went and bought a trailer to all my
Pelican was
airsoft.
too small.
Yeah, Pelican was too
Is there
small.
garbage bags in your trailer?
For
in,
garbage.
in my kitchen kit.
Don't put your gear too close. It might end up in his garbage can.
Yeah. But yeah, 2026, just looking to get more involved. I wanna make sure that everything I'm doing is community involvement, making sure that it's the betterment of airsoft.
That's great. And we appreciate that, David.
Yeah, and that's kind of get to more games, play more games, and even help out at fields if need be.
Yeah.
Maybe I play one weekend and then the next week, and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go here and see if they want help reffing or just to make sure that everybody's having a good year.
I like
And
you
then-
said that, David, because that was another thing I wanted to put in for 2016 or 2026. Is I want to start supporting the fields and like people's team games. Like when teams want to put on games and they need, because that's I think half the battle is trying to get cadre, extra refs or just people on the field, because there's not a lot of games you go on there oh, that guy's a player ref or everyone's a player ref.
Yeah, when
And
everyone's a player ref, then no one's a player
Yeah,
ref.
if everyone's
Yeah.
a player ref, no one's a ref. So I kind of just want to start getting out there and supporting teams that want to or need just extra hands, just extra, support as a ref out in the field.
Yeah, 100%. And I'd like to put this out to the field owners. Try to organize with teams and get games. A lot of other teams love to go and support other teams and put those games on because the teams have different ideas or different ways, and they can support that field and bring in. So I implore the field owners to get with teams and run on your open play weekends. Hey, it's just another way to play. they might have a different game mode, like, doing your, like we were just talking, doing specialty type games. And I think it'll be fun for the whole community.
Great. Real quick shout out. I'm not sure who actually posted it, but the ISA 6mm Mando, the Galactic Civil War game, which is the Star Wars themed. Can I say Star Wars? Star Battle. I don't know what trademark infringements we're running into here, but it is the Star Wars themed game held at Action Sports Wisconsin. That is a really fun game, especially if you're into that world.
Did you play?
I went one year. Josh and I went last
year.
2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years? I thought it was last year.
We went to a game, and we wanted to be role players.
Ewoks?
I wish. I'm not that short. I'm not furry enough because I wax. What happened was we wanted to be role players, and some people understood that, but this is an event full of role players. Like
The
there are
whole
people,
game is a role play.
right? They pay to go to this game, and they have a pistol with 5 rounds, and they're never going to empty it. They're role playing. They're shopkeepers. They're politicians.
They want to play that role the whole day.
Correct. So like we went in, and I'm thinking as an airsoft role player, I went there to get shot. That's not what they understood. So there was some miscommunication. Josh had a much better time than I am, but he's also a huge Star Wars nerd, and so he got into it way more. I was mostly just like, I wanted to I wanted to be a trigger for something else to happen, and I did not coordinate myself well enough. And by the end of the weather was also terrible. The game we went, I think all of Josh's guns that he worked so diligently on all broke.
Melted. Melted.
Literally because the rain blew out the light bars and stuff. But anyway, that's another game, Action Sports. Look for that. As we're talking 2026, and this is a great transition to the next thing. For the Minnesota Airsoft Association, as it relates to me, it's all going to be about community. What else can we do to help the community more than just things like the Midwest Airsoft Convention, which is March 28th, 2026. We'll be starting to heavily promote that in January. But for those that don't know about that, it is literally a convention. Yes, there's places to buy things. There's retailers. We're showing things off. We're going to do live streams. We're hoping to do interviews with all the field owners, with team organizers, game runners. If you have something you'd like to talk about, reach out to us. We'd love to interview you at Con because we are a community. What can we do to strengthen both the Minnesota community, but the North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, and our direct neighbors, going out to Missouri and Michigan, in Illinois. I feel like their environments are kind of out enough that we don't talk about them enough. But what can the MAA do to help the Midwest airsoft scene in any capacity? And that'll be our big thing. We're getting ready to go to SHOT Show in January in Las Vegas. For those that don't know, SHOT Show is the largest gun trade show in the United States. It is a week long. And while it is focused on real firearms, there's gear makers there. Like Spiritus is there.
Is Condor?
Condor is there. Condor
Nice.
actually has a huge booth. And
I hope they got M4 pouches.
They give out trash bags for their gift. That's not true, and I apologize. Condor, if you want to give me free stuff for our convention or just while I'm at SHOT Show. But SHOT Show, there are airsoft vendors there. People like Condor might not be a bad gear manufacturer, as it's a more entry-level gear manufacturer. We're going to interview some people from an airsofter's perspective at SHOT Show. That is not new. People have been doing that. Desert Jet Fox does it. But we're going to Alex and I are both going to be there along with our buddy Caleb. So we're going to be doing we're going to talk to Stingray. So we're going to be there. What can we do to get our name out so that they'll support us more? So what games? We already talked about, helping at Nightshade again with the Night Stalkers, helping Thomas with Drug Wars or something else at Big Lake, Crossfire. I'll be helping at Batteries Not Included. What other games can we do? Where can we help? Can we bring the Ares Alpha boxes? Can we bring our launchers? What can we do to expand, the elevate the play in Minnesota in 2026? That's going to be my big goal, but I need help. If you have ideas, again, David was happy enough to reach out to offer to be our producer after our Starburst, actually our Rich Cudahy interview, which went great, but I was like, we need a producer to help us run things. And again, we'll do some pictures. This is a much different environment than what we had before, and much smoother. So that's great.
Yeah, many thanks, David.
Yeah, much.
I don't know how we're supposed to thank you, man.
You're
or how
not.
we're supposed to do this by ourselves.
Yeah, how
again.
yeah, we don't. Yeah, this.
Again, like I said, you won't be doing it by yourself. I
don't think we'll
again,
get a
this is
show like.
this is community helping community right here. We all help each other. We all make airsoft better. No, that's what it is.
Caleb, I am not that short. And as you are as short as I am and furrier, if there's an Ewok in our group, it is you.
I thought I would be.
I mean, I'm not going to
pretty
compare.
hairy.
Again, I'm waxing. So, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Get out there, guys. Be safe. Play. You know, like you said, airsoft's a community. You know, embrace it with everybody. Invite everybody. Keep everybody close. I don't know. I like airsoft so much. You know, like I can't believe I've been doing this for 14 years or 15 years.
God, you're old.
I don't know. But you've been doing it for 20. They need to give you the golden BB.
This will be. Am I claiming 29 this year?
29 years?
I'll claim 29 years in 2026.
Wow.
Started in 97.
Wow. Nerd.
And David, how long have you played?
Do I really want to say?
Yes, because you're a representative of another player group.
Airsoft. I played 3 months last year, and I played this year.
Great. And
I started in paintball years ago, and then I decided I didn't like to have to, replace my gear every other game because of paint, and so I transitioned into airsoft. Thanks to my kid saying, "I could beat you." Okay, here's dad money.
yeah, see, that's how it works.
That's exactly. Actually, that's kind of how it worked for me.
I mean, people come and go. Well, my big thanks to my co-host, Alex Payton. Thank you to David Forbes of Project Echo Airsoft for being our producer. Thanks to you guys. Again, we did just a couple streams this year. We hope you've enjoyed them. We're learning. But we hope to make this a more regular thing. So if you have content that you'd like to have us do, interviews you'd like us to do, please let us know. Again, we're doing these not only so we can hang out and have fun, but to be informative to the community. And that is our goal for 2026. And here is us wishing you a happy holiday as we exit 2025. Be safe, call your hits. Remember the Midwest Airsoft Convention, March 28th, 2026. Maybe a little flag at the bottom of the page. Mele Kalikimaka, and good night.
Yeah.
Good night. That's,
We calling kids fat. Or
I
anything
mean,
like that.
are we off? No, because if we're not, okay, yeah. Caleb knows what we're talking about.
I was checking out pictures of us and never realized what I have lost. Now I know it and it is so